Yo, everybody, what's going on? I don't know
Yo,
why I
yo, yo.
expected the chat to answer. I'm like,
Me
you're
neither.
all typing.
They they're not here to actually answer. They're here to just be in the back and witness our problematicness.
Yeah, it's kind of like a train wreck or like a car crash, which
Beautiful.
I feel like is a good way to describe our dynamic, Animaine. So
Absolutely.
let me real quick just explain. Mike may or may not be here today. He is making a human. Well, he's not making a human. He is almost about to pop one out. Well, he's not. His wife is. This is a whole thing. Anyway, I
The
mean,
new human is en route.
yes. So I believe that's going to happen next week. So they're at a doctor's appointment right now. So he said he may or may not be able to be here. So my friend Animaine is here to be my fellow. Well, I would say light-skinned co-host, but you're not. You're an actual full blood. This is
I
a
am a
little intimidating for
full-blooded
me.
negroid.
Yeah.
Hello,
So
yes.
introduce yourself.
Greetings, DayTalkers. I am Animaine, one of the resident negroids of Amanda's friend group, and I exist to be a problem and also a damn delight. I am a YouTuber. You can find me at, I believe I'm linked somewhere in the description or something, but I have a channel where basically I'm a lot. I'm mainly a nerd focused channel, but I specialize in a lot of discussions similar to what the type of stuff that Daywalker likes to talk about, like sort of the intersection of nerd culture and like actual societal stuff. But also sometimes I just like to bullshit and meme because who doesn't love some good bullshit and memes? Um, I also am a comic book writer. I am working on two books that will be start to be released next year. Bond of the Blade, which is a shonen action style comic book about three ninja teamed heroes who combat crime and supernatural threats in their urban city. And I'm also working on a fantasy adventure book called The Spider Circle. There's some free content on Tapas right now for that, and you can also follow me for the development of the first issues proper that are dropping. And definitely the Spider Circle, you need that in your life because the main character, Catherine Scarlet, is just she is just a damn delight. She's the shit and the urine. She's this cutie with these big old luscious pigtails, and there's spell casting, there's use of gauntlets and wands, and um like mobster gangsters who fight with magic spells and shit. It's definitely something you want to be in on, and you want to be in before this shit blows up and gets big. So you can say you were one of the first to be in on this shit, man. If you want that, if you want like ninja themed heroes who are empowered by angels, I got you. And we talk a lot about representation and diversity. Um, this if you want something that includes different people of different ethnicities and all that type of shit but doesn't beat you over the head, it just exists. That's also, you will find that in droves with my shit, so you will have a good time regardless of what you're looking for. If you
That's
just want a good adventure, that's for you. If you want to see some people that necessarily aren't the status quo do all the things but not have it be oppression the show, that's also in there. I got you. Either way, I got you.
I feel like you're on Twitter. I always like seeing what trouble you're getting into because you're somebody who I feel like equally triggers every side, which I feel like is like a good
Yes.
daywalker trait.
Absolutely. That is a badge I wear of honor. I always say that you're doing something right if you're pissing the extremes of both sides off on any given subject. So, like, as it pertains to, say, the nerd shit, like, I once got eight, I got my ass ate in the worst way because I decided, because y'all know how there's always like we have like all the fighting games and shit and some of the animes, the animu, if you will, but like they'll have like these black characters in there sometimes. And some of these black characters, man, that come out of Japan, they got like way more drip than most of our black characters, at least in modern day. And they'll be so cool, such great visual design and everything. And one day I was just like, man, they out here like winning the whole diversity game without even playing. They're just thinking, let me make the coolest character I can. So what do? I'll make a martial arts master and I'll name him like the blackest name ever, like Leroy Smith, and I'll give him like these epically long gray locks, and he'll be dressed in like a martial artist master outfit, but then he'll also have a pit bull. And like just imagine Kung Fu T-Pain at like age 70. That's essentially Leroy Smith from Tekken. And I'm like, this is the shit. Why don't we have more characters like this? I pissed off the far right because apparently that makes me a SJW. And one of my mutuals at the time actually said, you went SJW. This is why black people haven't done anything useful in 40 years. And then he blocked me and I blocked him back. And then, of course,
Wait. He was a mutual?
Yeah.
And he
Because
said black people haven't done anything useful in 40 years.
Yeah, because I made the terrible mistake of in like 2020, early 2021, I was much more ranty. I was much more because this is before I had really started to incorporate more of my YouTube and my comic creation of things. I was just getting back into Twitter for the first time in like 5 years. So I was just firing off. This was part of when I was like developing how I currently feel about media. I was coming off of being like really progressive. And so I was in that new phase where you feel like you just got to say all the things, right? Anytime
Mhm.
you start a new religion or a new worldview, you
Right,
go
you go
through a
real
period.
hard. You go hard in the paint.
Exactly. You have to go hard. You got to go hard in the paint. You got to tell everybody about the thing. And I was getting into fights with people and I was telling, you're stupid, you're triggered, and ha ha, pronouns in bio opinion discarded, all those memes and shit. And I calmed down a lot, uh, partially for my own, I guess, quote unquote, spiritual reasons, and also partially just for brand reasons. Like, I don't want to be associated with just making fun of people and only dunking on quote unquote woke tards or whatever the phrase is now. But like, I started to get some of my followers from those days. Some of them understand that I've changed a little bit in that area and they respect that. Some people are still very vitriolic. And I think that was one of those people. He was a follower who I'd
Mhm.
acquired back when I was way more gur arg wokie's bad, you know. And so when I said something that even kind of went off the beaten path of that narrative, he basically lit into me and I told him he can go fuck his face and then we blocked each other. But then I ended up pissing off the people who are more on the left because, you know, one of their big things is Japan bad. So don't ever say that Japan does something well, especially if we're talking about black folks, because they're only racist. Obviously, black anime characters, um, some of them have pretty questionable appearances. I think that's pretty common knowledge. Um, but bringing up like an old Akira Toriyama drawing of a black person with the sausage lips from like the 80s is not proof that that anime is racist now. Please stop. Please just stop being weird.
Well, and also,
And
isn't that you
yeah,
said something about you made a good point. Was a Dragon Ball Z character where you're like, yeah, he's drawn like in a stereotypical way, but he's like one of the coolest characters. Who was it? Like Mr. Black
exactly.
or something? I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
stereotypical names.
it was Staff Officer Black from the Red Ribbon Saga. He is literally one of the coolest and best villains from OG Dragon Ball because he serves as like the assistant to who was being set up as the big bad. But when he finds out that, oh, he's being run by absolute incompetence and stupidity, he kills his ass and assumes leadership of the Red Ribbon Army, and he's the last person that Goku has to defeat. So he has an unfortunate design that harkens back to minstrel shows, but he's a dope character. And for people who are just they just want to be pissed off about this shit, they'll look at it purely aesthetically and they'll go, it's minstrel show. See, they hate black people. This is how they draw us. And I just look at it and go, yeah, that visual design sucks. Now show us an example that's actually come out in the past 3 decades.
Right. Well,
But
it's just
yeah.
throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Like, okay, so
Hmm.
that's how they design the character, but is it a good character? You know,
Right.
like that's the whole thing with representation is that it's not like they a lot of them push for hollow representation where they're like, look, we have a suitable black, a suitable women. And it's like, okay, but like, are they interesting? Are they fully developed? Do they have cool character arcs going on? Like, who cares if they're appropriate or politically correct? Like, are they a
Right.
good fucking character? Do I relate to them? Can I empathize with their journey and like want to go on that journey with them? Or are they just like, you know, a savior and they're always making only the right decisions that Twitter will approve of? But who cares about Twitter? Because they don't actually
Mhm.
buy any of this stuff because they ain't got
They
no
don't buy it.
jobs.
They ain't buy it because they ain't got no jobs. They're too busy starting their third GoFundMe so they can afford cat food this quarter.
That I mean, listen, cat food. I'm just saying, maybe this is controversial, but I'm just saying, if you can't afford cat food, you got food right there. Like you could eat your cat, and then you'd solve two problems at once. You'd feed yourself,
So-
and you don't have to pay money. I'm just saying, if you broke, why you got to have a cat?
I got you. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go what's the Chinese food stereotype?
Yeah. Well, and
The
here
place
that's
down the street, the General Tso's chicken. That ain't chicken.
well, my thing is like, look, we domesticated dogs, that's fine, but they got too many dogs over there. So they're like trying to solve a problem. They're like, all right, let's eat them. Like,
Look,
I don't see why that's a bad thing to eat cats and dogs if there's too many of them. Like, don't go and break into someone's house and steal their pet. Like,
well, their
that's
pet.
problematic.
So if it's just like a stray cat running around.
Yeah. I got so many stray cats in my neighborhood, and I'm just like, I mean, that reminds me of a horrible last winter. I came home and there was a dead cat in my front yard. And what they don't tell
Oh,
you about being a homeowner, I mean, I guess they do tell you, but like you don't listen. You have
mhm.
to solve all your problems, like
Yeah. Oh,
removing
yes.
a like removing a dead body from your front yard. Because I'm like, oh, what do I do? And so I just left it for a couple days because that's how I deal with a lot of my problems. I'm like, it's not a problem if I
And
just ignore it.
you can't leave the dead carcass in the yard. You got to get rid of that thing, man.
Okay, it was wintertime, so it was cold, so it wasn't smelling. So I'm like, I'll just deal with it when I feel like it. I don't know what to do. I don't want to touch it. Um,
Nah,
and I think
no,
it's
no.
so it's Georgia, so it gets down to like 26 degrees. So I think there was, or not down to, it can get down colder, but like I think there had been a night where it was 26 degrees. So I think the poor thing, like he was a stray, so he just kind of had nowhere to go, and he, I guess, died of cold. So
Mm.
because it was cold, I didn't smell him, so I was able to procrastinate. And then I called the city of Atlanta, and like my anti-government ways are kicking in. But I was like, I called them. I was like, hey, can you come get it? So they show up. First of all, they don't tell me when they're showing up. So it's like 3 or 4 days later. They show up. I see them get out of the truck, look around, and then leave. And then they send me an email being like, we did it. Yay, us. Go government. And I'm like, I'm glad my tax dollars paid for you to do dick, because it was dead animal removal. Like that's what their job was. And they did
Yeah.
not do it. And they said later, they're like, oh, well, you had to put the animal on the curb. And I'm like, I'm not putting a dead cat body on the curb for all my
Wait,
neighbors to think I'm some sort of like Vlad the Impaler, where I'm like,
wait a minute. But why didn't they just tell you? Why
yeah,
didn't
you would
they
think they
just
would tell
say,
me that like
"Hey, we're here to
beforehand, like
pick
make
it
sure
up"?
it's on the curb. Hmm?
Yeah, make sure it's out on the curb, or even if they show up and they could just sit in the truck and be like, "Hey, we're here, but our policy is we can only pick it up like on the curb, so we just need you to come out." I mean, that would have been dumb. Also, they should have just told you beforehand, but at
Well,
least then they could have taken it at the first point. Like that's
half
just
of the problem was that I didn't want to touch it. So that wouldn't have really helped me, because I'm like, I don't want to touch it. I want you to come and remove it because it is your job. And I'm the
we'll
girl.
see. That's when no stop. That's when you meet them halfway. You're like, okay, you guys are here, but you have to take it from the curb. I don't want to touch it, but y'all are already here to get it. And if I don't get invested in some way, it's gonna stay in my yard longer. So this little compromise here, you got to work with the people. You got to
I
work
don't
with
think
them.
they care. The city doesn't care if my yard
That's
smells
very
like
true.
dead cat.
That's
Like
very true.
they're like,
I
nigga,
mean,
that's your yard.
I dealt with trying to get government assistance for something that you think they would actually try to help for so many ways this past year and a half of my life being on fire. And when I say these people move like molasses just to not care, I am not exaggerating or lying to you. Like it shouldn't take 8 months for someone just to tell you they can't help you.
So it's like
Like I
delayed
literally replied
incompetence.
exactly like I literally applied for like government assistance with like rent relief and stuff. Um and it took them like 6 to 8 months for them to get back at me to tell me something in email that they had already told me 3 times over the phone, which they still couldn't fix, but they had already told me. So I'd already moved on to find a new solution. And then I finally got the email saying, yeah, we can't provide you with the aid you want because of these reasons, but you can do this to follow up and then try again. Like, well, great, thanks. The problem hasn't existed for 2 months now. But thanks for telling me what you already told me 4 months ago. You
Well,
guys are
like
great. Go fuck
I'm
yourselves.
freaking waiting for them. Like, my taxes next year are going to be fucked because I started a business in January of this year. I'm like, I'm going to be professional. I'm going to have a business. I'm going to separate it from my personal. I'm going to do all this stuff. And then the IRS just was like, eh. So, like,
Yeah.
they said it would take like 2 months to like give me my paperwork back to be like, yes, you are a business.
Mm-hmm.
They sent me a paper in like August, so it's like 8 months later, and they're like, "Oh, we're missing a signature on one page." So I sent it back. Still haven't heard from them, so I don't know what my taxes are going to be next year because they're going to be like, "Well, you had a business account," and I'm like, "But I couldn't use it. I couldn't."
And then why? It's still gonna be your fault. Somehow, it's still gonna be your fault, and you're gonna have to do all the stupid shit to either prove that it ain't your fault or pay the whatever
Oh
because
yeah, well, because
they
that's how
don't give a
government
shit.
works, right? Like it's like, oh, we can fuck up, we can take forever, we
Mm-hmm.
can be like, oops, we didn't pick up the dead body from your yard, even though that's literally our
Our
job,
job,
and we can't be fired for not doing that job because we're government employees. But
right?
if you don't pay your bill on time or you don't do this or that, oh, fines, you go to jail. I mean, you don't go to jail right
Mm-hmm.
away, but eventually, you would
Uh-oh,
go to jail.
SpaghettiOs, you didn't sign this one part, and we
Yep.
took 2 years to tell you, and you owed the money a year ago, so now you owe twice as much. You're welcome.
Exactly. So, and the cat saga was I wish somebody had been filming it because eventually I was like, all right, I gotta handle this. So I had to go buy a shovel from like Ace Hardware, and I'm like, and I said,
Yes.
he's like, what kind of shovel you need? Like, what are you trying to dig? I was like, a hole. He's like, for what? I was like, for a cat. He's like, I'm so sorry. And he goes, or he was like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's not my cat. And like his look was like, um,
No.
look as if somehow I'm gonna come. I'm like, my neighbor's cat's done me wrong one too many times. I'm taking care of this.
I done told Miss Nancy if she don't get little Skipper and get him. I done told him he got one more time to dig holes in my yard, come up under my fence. He come under my fence again. He ain't coming back out.
Well, although I do have, I'm thinking about doing that with my neighbor's chickens. I'm like, he lets them roam everywhere, and the rooster sits outside my window at like 5 a.m. I had to get like, I had to pay money to get like window inserts to like make it quieter. And I'm like, I should not be having to spend money because you don't want to cage your animals, and they're eating my strawberries, they're eating all my stuff in the front yard, and I'm just
Oh
like,
damn.
what if one day they just disappeared and I
Yeah.
suddenly had a freezer full of like chicken nuggets. Like I
There you
just
go. Shit.
it's half
Fuck it.
thing.
You know, look. I'm tired of spending gas to go to the store. I'm tired of spending extra for extra fees on Instacart. I need some food in my house. You got food over at the house. My food, my meal for the next few days is roaming in my yard right now.
And
So go ahead and leave them out there.
technically, those birds are eating like I planted
Right.
those strawberries, I planted those flowers, they're eating them. So really, my yard has been feeding them. So really, they're part mine. Like I'm gonna go communist for a second and be like, those are our chickens, comrade. Like
Is
this is
ours.
a
Comrade.
comrade.
Is no
I
steel chicken. Is no
no
steel
no no.
chicken. Is ours. Is
We don't
ours.
we don't own chicken in
We
communist
know
Russia. Like we all own chicken.
in communist Georgia. We no
Communist
own
Georgia.
you no own chicken. We all is our chicken, comrade. Yes.
I've been like obsessed. So every couple months, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna really get serious about my homestead because like I don't have a ton of. I have a decent yard. Like I live in the city, but like in Atlanta, they actually have pretty lax like laws about what animals you can have. The only animal you have to have a certain amount of space for like per the type of animal and how many. But the only animal
Mhm.
I'm not allowed to have a lot of is I can't have a pig, but I could have a pot-bellied pig, like a miniature pot-belly, and I can only have one. But I could have like 10 goats. I could have like I think it was like 50 chickens or something like that. I want to get ducks, but I'm
Damn.
like really obsessed with the idea of being like, yeah, I'm gonna get my own eggs. I'm gonna get some sheep or goat for milk. I'm gonna even learn how to process my own animals and get some meat. But I
Mhm.
don't think I could actually do it. But the neighbor's rooster is testing me, so maybe I
You know
can
what this
see.
is? This is God. This is God putting you through some trials so that you can see how much you actually can be a serial killer for animals because you not before all this started you weren't sure if you could do it. Now because these damn chickens is over here plucking your damn nerves, you get in there, and at one point Mr. Carruthers or whoever his name is over there, he just gonna be missing a couple chickens. And look, he ain't even gonna miss them. He ain't gonna miss them damn chickens.
He won't actually because I
Kill
thought
them
it was
little niggas. Kill them.
I I thought it was like the neighbor across the street, but like no, it's down that way. I was walking a dog once and I looked over and I was like, it looked like the birds. There was probably like 20 chickens and they were sitting on the fence, which I didn't even know that chickens could.
What?
I didn't think they could fly, but apparently his can. I don't know what he feeds them. I mean, maybe it's my
Oh, hold up,
strawberries.
hold up. This nigga got mega chickens and you ain't killing them and eating them
I,
and
I
getting their
mean,
strength?
if I eat
Girl,
them,
you gotta come on.
I might get their strength, but I might also get like, radioactive poisoning or whatever he's like putting in them.
See that, but that's where the mulatto blood in you gonna kick in and prevent
Mhm.
it from. See, if I, a pure Negroid, were to do that, I might fall ill to the real chicken flu. But you have that mulatto blood, which will prevent that
Mm.
from happening. So this
Wait,
is
wait,
God. This is God giving you an intro story to how you become like Mega
my
Amanda.
superhero. Well,
Yes.
oh, wait, wait, wait. Is it the white part of me or is it the black part of me that makes me more susceptible or like sustainable to like radioactive chickens?
It's kind of like I don't know how familiar you are with the deepest of Dragon Ball Z lore, but
Not super.
okay, so basically in Dragon Ball Z, you obviously you have Saiyans, right? They're the guys with the tails from space and whatnot. And then you have characters like Gohan who are half Saiyan, half human. Well, because of the way their genealogy works, which doesn't make sense, but fuck it, because anime, um, they actually have greater potential to be stronger in certain ways because of their mixed genealogy. So I think it's like that, where you, because you have the whiteness in you that is not necessarily repellent to the chicken genome, but it
Mhm.
doesn't fall victim to it as hard. So you have like some built-in resistancy. But then you also have the black blood in you that loves the chicken. So it's like you get the best of both worlds. See, it's just another area where you're the fucking daywalker.
I mean, yeah, yeah, I can move between worlds. It's also why I'm not lactose intolerant. A lot of black people are, but I think because my mom's from France, you
Mhm.
can't be lactose intolerant in France because you eat too much cheese.
Oh, that
Your body
goddamn
might
cheese.
your body might want to be lactose intolerant, but it's like, no, I can't. I'll die.
Right. Like you literally don't even have the option to become that. So God damn it, you and your mixed blood ways.
I mean,
Ah,
I like that I'm like the best video game character to play now. It's like she's resistant to this kind of damage, but also cold
exactly.
damage and chicken damage.
They're writing to the game devs about you every week. Can y'all please nerf Daywalker, man? I'm tired of people picking Daywalker and like completely destroying me within 20 seconds. She is
She's
completely
so
overpowered.
overpowered.
Please fucking nerf her. Please nerf Daywalker. Every patch note show you just get people showing up in Twitch chat. Nerf Daywalker. Nerf Daywalker. When is the Daywalker nerf coming?
They should just play as Daywalker. You just have a game where everybody's just being me and just being awesome.
See, now you're tapping into your inner progressive from back in the day where you just think everything is about you and you're just everything should be a self-insert where you're just the perfectest of characters.
It is about me. Everything. Just
Yo,
just in case you
super
didn't
random
know.
as shit. But do you remember that song by I think his name Toby Keith, I Want to Talk About Me? That old ass country song. I
I
want to
don't
talk
think
about
so.
me. I want to talk about my. I want to talk about number one. Oh my.
Oh, yeah, 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 I do know that one.
Man, that shit went so hard for no reason. I think I was in like middle of high school when it came out, and me and my friends were so fucking stupid. We would be talking about the weirdest shit. It'd be talking about like whatever, but then randomly somebody would come up with Toby Keith, and we would start singing that shit. That or like Jimmy Eats World or something. Like we would just God, being a '90s to early 2000s person was a strange time that I miss, but it's fine. It's
I
fine.
miss it too. I was like watching some of my favorite sketches were just like I feel like in high school I came up during like a golden era of comedy. I mean, there's always like good waves of comedy every decade. There's always somebody, but I just feel like like I was watching like it's like Whitest Kids You Know and Chappelle Show and all these things. I
Oh
miss
yeah.
I miss good comedy, man. Like I really really do.
But you brought up like the probably one of the best ones doing it right now. The fact that not only was Chappelle such a force when we were younger, but he has now transitioned into a completely different era of comedy, especially after straight up just walking away from his
Mhm.
own show. Most people do that. That's just kind of it. But he
Mhm.
came back and is not only is he relevant and still doing good, but he's like making waves and making like poignant statements with his comedy about the current state of society. So yeah, like but I'm definitely glad that I grew up in the Chappelle Show era. Because God, I can't even imagine what high school would be like without Chappelle Show. Like,
I
good God,
like, what do the kids even quote now? Like, I feel like, like I
memes.
still quote like, "What do the five fingers say to the face?" Or "They should have never given you niggas
Exactly.
money." Like, I'm always quoting stuff from that, or I was
Right.
literally watching some sketch stuff this morning, which I guess is actually new, or not new, but this era. But it's Tim Robinson. I guess he used to be on SNL. His stuff's hit or
Mhm.
miss for me, but he's got a show called was I Think You Should Leave, and it's just the sketches that SNL rejected, and some of them are so fucking funny, and it kind of inspired me to like get writing again because I'm just like,
Dope. You should totally like link me to some of this stuff. I also want to vibe in the yuck yucks. But I see some of the people in the chat are also remembering this Toby Keith song that my random ass constantly revolving door of reference brain just thought up. So
it's
I'm glad that we're not alone. I'm glad we're not alone.
I like it. Sometimes you just need a ballad to narcissism, I guess.
But yeah, I just my goodness, the fact that all the like the dope skits, and if it's not skits, then it's like the great sitcoms we had back in the day, and that would be like those would become quotables forever. That was our memes. That was
Mhm.
our memes, and they would have like immortal relevancy. Like I'm gonna see a couple of my friends later on this week that I grew up with. I guarantee you, I could quote Bernie Mac, Dave Chappelle, or Martin Lawrence to them. Everyone will know what I'm talking about. Everyone will laugh. And that's saying a lot because I'm going to a funeral. But we
You're
look,
giving the eulogy and you're just doing a bunch of Bernie Mac quotes, and they're just like,
exactly. Like, look, I remember, look, I'm telling you, weaving a little bit of humor sometimes when you staring up there looking at your dead loved one can help shit go down. But I could do that and it would work. But now it's like so many things are just it's that quick flash in the pan meme or TikTok stuff that is relevant Monday, played out by Wednesday, forgotten about by Friday. Like that shit is kind of I mean, it's the way things are now, so there's no need of me getting mad at it. But it just, I do kind of, I'm anticipating a day where there can be things that come by and even have more staying power. Because even
like
stuff from like the
legacy
earlier
comedy.
internet days, yeah, exactly. That's what we need, man. Like I miss whether it's from the sitcom days or the good skit days or even the earlier internet days. Like so many things that would come up and have relevancy for at least a couple of years. I think,
Like a like
yeah.
even like Power Thirst or Charlie the Unicorn or like
Oh my
friggin' End of the
god.
World. Like
Yes, Charlie the oh my god. You don't know how many people I annoyed to the end of the earth with Charlie the fucking unicorn. You gotta be sneaky, Charlie. Sneaky. Oh my god. That
Charlie.
was the randomest shit. Charlie, glub 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 glub.
I wonder, like, I kind of want to show some of them, but I also, every time I do, I freaking boomer it. Like last time, like the audio didn't play for some reason, even though it
Oh,
didn't change any of the settings.
by all means boomer it because I have at least two boomer moments when I live stream like every like 3 or 4 months when I actually like I live stream frequently, but every now and then I'll fuck up the screen share or I'll have something played too long. It just adds to the flavor. Besides, your audience knows you. They appreciate your boomer moments.
I guess, but I'm like really trying to be like efficient. I want it to be like a
Stop.
fun, sleek live stream. Let's see.
Why? Why? When you could be yourself and get even more money, get even more recognition, get the coins.
I was like, what money?
Look,
Monetized on YouTube,
it's
please.
look, listen to me. Listen to me. Embrace your inner boomer. You need to do it. You need to stop being scared. Just
I mean,
embrace it.
I already am because people are like, hey, do you use Snapchat? I'm like, why would I want messages that disappear? I like having receipts. I don't like being like, wait, but you said, wait,
Exactly.
wait, did you say anything? Were we even friends? Was this all in my
It
head? Is
doesn't
this the
help.
Twilight Zone?
A, I'm old. B, I have the short term memory of a goldfish on acid. I need there to be a record of the conversation.
It's I'm sure it's probably because like the youngins are like, I want to just send dick pics, but I'm just like, what is the point of this? Anyway. So this is for those of you who aren't familiar, and let me know if I freaking mess it up or if there's an echo or something. Share screen. This was Power Thirst, and it was brilliant and hilarious and dumb, and I loved it. All right.
Hey,
Can
do
you
you
hear that?
want to feel so energetic? Try Power Thirst, energy drinks for people who need gratuitous amounts of energy. With all new flavors like chocolate energy. It's like adding chocolate to an electrical store. Sound the alarm. You're gonna be uncomfortably energetic. What's that? You want strawberry? Well, how about rawberry? Made with lightning, real lightning. You'll be good at them. It's an energy drink for men. Energy. These aren't your dad's puns. These are energy puns. Turbo puns. Science, energy, electrolytes, turbo lights, power lights, more lights than your body has room for. You'll be so fast, Mother Nature will be like, slow down. And you'll be like, fuck you, and kick her in the face with your energy legs. You'll have so much energy. Just running all the time. Power running, power lifting, power sleeping, power dating, power eating, power laughing, power spawning babies. You'll have so many babies. 400 babies. Give chocolate to your babies and they'll be good at sports. Make your babies run abnormally fast. They'll run as fast as Kenyans. People will watch them running and think they're crazy. They'll race as fast as Kenyans against actual Kenyans, and it'll be a time that gets reported back to Kenya. Hey, go with the sure thing. Don't gamble on your energy. Snake eyes. Try Power Thirst, the energy drink that will make you soar.
Yeah. So don't start the next thing.
Hey,
stop it. Don't play it again. Sorry, I'm like, okay, all right, I got it. Stop sharing.
That was so good.
Like,
my favorite part of that was just looking at all them old fonts from Windows Movie Maker.
Because that was what, like 2006? Like that was like,
it was 2000 old, and oh my god, the days where simply just cutting in images fast was considered like peak editing, and saying the most random shit ever.
We do kind of still do that now with like the cutaways and meme stuff, but yeah, I guess it's more polished now. Back then, it was like
it was super grunge, but that adds to the flavor of it. But that was fucking hilarious for no reason. It looked just like you honestly, that could have come out and you could have told me that was like from the movie Idiocracy, and I would have believed you. Like, I guarantee you the people that made that watched Idiocracy, because that shit was on point with all the electrolytes.
No, I would have bought Power Thirst. And the second one they had a second Power Thirst, and they were like, with new flavors like banana, like fizz bitch, and gun.
Like, see, there you go, America, fuck yeah.
It was just funny, like it, and like it wasn't political. It was literally like everybody could quote it. Like, comedy used to be much more just like, hey, this is a weird thing, made me laugh, I guess we'll try it. And now it feels like, and don't get me wrong, I've seen some funny TikToks my sister shared with me. I've seen some funny stuff, but for the most part, it's like short. It's like ADD, kind of like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And a lot of it's like kind of boring. Like me coming into Thanksgiving being a hot mess. Like, it's just not a formulated joke. It's kind of just like random kind of observation that's like safe and whatever.
Yeah, that's an element of comedy that my random brain can appreciate, but I also don't want to consume too much of that stuff. Also, it gets old fast when it's just like random observation 5 seconds, random scenario 2 seconds, random thing 30 seconds, and then they follow that up with like a 2-minute diatribe about why white people are evil. And I'm like, and that's enough TikTok for this week.
Right. It's
good.
Instant gratification comedy. Yeah, I think comedy now, I mean, I should make these big sweeping generalizations, because there's people doing really funny stuff. I really like Ryan Long. I like Kyle Dunnigan. I like Shane Gillis. There's also some like there's some weirdly innovative stuff, but it's hard to find because the algorithms don't like it. But like, people are doing stuff, but a lot of comedy now is kind of fast food comedy. Like, it's it's fine for the moment, and then you forget about it. Like you said, there's no longevity, there's no
It's pump and dump.
lastingness.
It's pump and dump. But
Pump and dump. They're not going to call you later. They're gonna block you on Snapchat, or they're gonna
instantly.
Yeah.
But I love that phrase there, when instant gratification comedy, because that just sums it up. It's people, the people making it either don't want to or don't feel like they have to provide like a setup or a structure. Not saying everything has to be like, we all can't be on Daywalker level where we're making fully like skits with like costumes and shit. And everybody ain't got time for that, which is part of
Daywalker
why
doesn't even have time for that. That's why there hasn't been a new sketch in months.
Well, look, one of these days you're gonna get it together. God ain't through with it yet. Anyways,
I just
need
need help.
Want to sit down for that? Yeah, you do. Help! I need somebody help.
I need mental help, but I also like need help. Like I need like people to like help film, because sometimes I'll film stuff and then I'll go back and I'll look and it was all out of focus or whatever, or I'll just like that kind of shit, and or the audio was messed up or something like that, and I'm just like, I need help filming this shit. So if anybody knows filmmakers or people or other actors or whatever who live in Georgia or whatever.
Yeah, hook up, and because we got to get this Daywalker thing. Look, y'all, we not over here. We being humble sometimes, but we also know we the shit. So when Amanda be making these skits and is like, yo, I'm about to be out here doing the comedy thing, that's when it's time to just throw whatever is necessary at her. I mean, like, don't throw like trash, throw like good things at her, like throw the money. If you're in her area and you're like, hey, I'm open to filming this day and you can come through, or if she needs someone to be the camera person, because we need this stuff to take off, man, because TikTok got to be dethroned, man. The TikTok brand of comedy can't be. It was one thing when it was Vines, showing my age on the internet here, but I love the Vines was like the peak form of that brand of comedy for me. So the TikToks that are more reminiscent of some of like the Vine skits and shit, those I find those are the ones that appeal more to me. But like, I don't know, I feel like more of the stuff you do we should also have room for that as well.
I definitely, because like there's a lot of sketches. Don't get me wrong. Some of it's just time. In January, I've decided to like take a break. That's how I was able to make the sketches earlier this year. Is I took 2 months off of work, and then I regretted it, and I spent the rest of the year catching up financially. But like this time, I tried to plan it a little better. So I'm going to take a little break in February and really try to start just churning stuff out, because it's all I want to do. I just keep writing sketches, and I'm just like, I want to make this.
Yeah.
The green screen is easy for a lot of them, but some of them I really need like. I feel like you need like more. Like I really want to do Real House Slaves of the Plantation, which we came up with on your stream, and it's still hilarious.
Oh my God, you're welcome. But I love the fact that you have so many ideas though. Like genuinely, the fact that you're so on fire for making content. I feel like that spirit, more than any like political rhetoric or anything, is going to be what saves just our culture in general. As someone who is unfortunately a participant in the culture war, I always say that I'm like, I fight the war to help end the war. And I think that just having creators who are just very passionate about their artistic vision, and what you do is art. Don't never let no one tell you it ain't. Even the stupidest skit ideas of all time that you have, that's still fucking art. And the fact that it's a product of your mind and you're on fire for making it and putting it out there into the world, that's just genuinely a dope thing to see.
Well, thank you. And I think, I mean, as a creator, I'm sure you feel similarly, but for me, I don't know. I was explaining it to Mike this weekend because I told him why it doesn't mean anything to me when people go, oh my God, but you're the voice of so-and-so, or you're whatever. And I'm like, that's not really like anything, because like, it's not me. You like the character, and I just happen to be the voice of it. Like I didn't write it. I didn't really get a lot of creative input into it. I just got cast as it, and
right.
And so when they're like, oh my gosh, you're this, I'm like, that doesn't mean you know me or you see me. But if you like are like, oh, I really liked your sketch, or I really liked Ghosts and Stuff, or something that I wrote that came out of my brain, that means the world to me, because it's actually more me. And so I think as artists, like when you write something and it resonates, it just feels a
Yeah.
little bit more satisfying than if I just acted in something and was a meat puppet for other people's words, you know?
Oh no, absolutely. I think that when we're talking about artists or creatives, as we're often called today, um, there's always that sense of wanting to be seen and wanting your own, not necessarily validation, but recognition, I guess. Like if
I mean,
you're
plenty of validation is needed. Artists are very insecure. I'm like, please validate me,
I'm an
please.
artist and I'm sensitive about my shit, but but like no, you hit the nail on the head that when you're in these roles, yeah, it requires talent, it requires a sort of connection to the character to portray them well, but it's still your interpretation of someone else's stuff, and people
Mm,
are there for the stuff, so they like what you did with someone else's stuff at best. But that's different from when something is a product of your mind or your vision and you're bringing that to life and then they connect with that. Like I love, like, the I get like maybe a tenth of the views for videos about my own comics, as I do for videos covering other people's stuff, like the big name stuff. And I already I know, right? I'm not a babe in YouTube land. Okay, I've been around here for long enough to know that my coverage of the mainstream stuff is going to get more traction, is going to get more attention, views, and engagement just by matter of it being mainstream. More people know what it is, you know. But that's still my take on what someone else is doing. But when
mm.
I get people who actually take the time to watch my videos about my own characters, right? I make that stuff knowing it's not going to do anywhere near as good in terms of views and engagement, but the engagement it does get, I am so grateful for. And it genuinely, you know, like you, it makes me really feel good. It touches me in a special place, you might say.
In a way that you won't need to like tell the court about. You're like, no, no, this will stay
Exactly.
between us.
Exactly. Off
That's
the record.
that's definitely, I think, a frustration a lot of creators have is that it's so easy to blow up if you're doing content about someone else's IP. You know, like you're like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm reviewing some big show, or I'm, you know, I'm gonna be gaming, I don't know, I'm gonna be doing Minecraft playthroughs or whatever. Like you can do
Right.
that, but it's just frustrating that like the ones who make the most money are kind of doing it like, you know, you or not the most money, but just like get the most followers is because of that. But originality is not necessarily like encourage. I mean, we talk about, oh, we want Hollywood to make original stuff, but then we're not actually promoting or really helping a lot of indie creators. And not every indie creator is going to be polished right out the gate. That's another thing is we look at stuff, we go, meh, as opposed to like really like investing in people from the ground up and be like, I like their stuff, I'll give them a follow or whatever, and then
Yeah.
slowly seeing them improve as they learn and refine their craft. And I don't know, that's just a
Mhm.
tangent, but
No, it's a worthy tangent to have because I think definitely in the indie scene that's a conversation that comes up a lot, and I've seen even a few even maybe even a couple people who are in chat here weigh in on that over the past couple weeks to months, where you have a lot of the bigger names who will talk about wanting more originality, wanting better quality entertainment and whatnot, and better, you know, more sincerely produced art, but then it seems like they get big off of talking about that. But then when it comes down to actually doing something that could genuinely bring about that change, it seems that, you know, a lot of them, you know, come up short.
mm,
And I think what we see there is the difference between the YouTuber like creator, especially if you're talking about like YouTube commentators, like the comment tube scene and then the indie artist slash creator scene are two, essentially they're two separate arenas. There's an overlap, but they are different. And if you have someone who is primarily just a YouTuber who got big griping about mainstream entertainment, that's where they are. And I think while I definitely understand the frustration, I think more people need to just accept the fact that most people, not even for like matters of them not caring, you notice, you know, since we're both actual creators on YouTube, once you get in a lane, you kind of locked in there the bigger you get, and it is very hard to transition from that unless you really already have a really, you know, nice sized, you know, core audience that will, they're pretty much, they're just there for you, they're not necessarily there just for what you're talking about. So if you get big for like 4 years griping about mainstream sucks, woke, and then you just start, even transitioning into a more positively themed channel can be hard, but keeping it about things that are at least more relevant or things that people know more about is probably going to have a better payday than switching to talk about like a new up and comer. Like,
right.
That could really mess. So I understand why some people don't do it more. And then also there's just the time aspect of it. Like once you hit like the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subs, you're going to be hit with like a million people wanting to come on and basically want you to put them on. And like, how do you sift through that and find the good from the bad? Do you have the time? Is this your full-time career? Do you also have a family? Do you also have a 9-to-5? A lot of these people don't even manage their own email accounts or basic social media posts anymore. Do they have the time to sit down and go through all these indie things? I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying that for the YouTuber side of things, there's a disconnect. And a lot of these people didn't really sign up to be like bastions of a culture war. They just saw shit happening and started talking about it, and it resonated with people, and then the channel took off.
I think that's definitely something. Like I've talked to some of my friends who kind of want to do shifts into more like just more stuff that they're interested in, as opposed to always talking about things they hate, because it's putting them in a negative headspace where they're like,
oh girl,
I'm sick of talking about woke Disney or woke whatever. Like they're kind of like, we all
Marvel sucks. We get it. Can I actually talk about something that I like now?
So some of them want to do that, but they're like, but the algorithm won't support it and the fans won't support it. So it's one of those things where I don't know what's more important, if it is the algorithm or if it is the fans or if it's both. But I do hate
it's
that
a bit of both.
It pigeonholes people. Like I feel like because people are like, you have to do either sketches or reactions or live streams or shorts, but you can't do all of it. I'm like, watch me. I mean, granted, it could also be like why like the algorithm doesn't know what to do with me, but
it's true. I mean, it is true that the algorithm really favors reliability, and there's both a human psychological aspect to it and an algorithm aspect to it. I think when people come to you for the thing, they expect the thing from you. So if you don't make the thing, there are people like me, like I'm sure you do as well, where if you like a creator, you'll at least check out the stuff they do. And then obviously if you don't like it, you can click away. But just because if you subscribe to someone who does like true life or like a true crime deep dives or something, and then one week they randomly do a video essay on why they actually think the MCU isn't that bad. If you like the creator, you'll probably still check out that video.
That's what I think. Like I like people's personalities. Like usually I follow a YouTuber. Half the time I don't care what they're talking about. Like I started following some interior design YouTubers. I don't really care about interior design, but I really liked her personality. I'm like, she seems like like somebody I'd be friends with. So for me, I tend to follow people for who they are. So I love seeing them do random videos. Like, oh, they did a movie review, cool. Oh, they did a vlog, awesome. But I don't know if the majority of YouTube audiences are like that. I'm not really sure if that's a different type of, if a personality tuber is maybe what that is, or versus a topic.
I think just in general, you have any YouTuber, once they start getting any type of sizable audience, there's going to be the majority of people who subscribe to them for that thing, whatever the video was about or whatever they did in the video that hooked them. That's what they're there for. And then they'll also form a core audience that's just there for who they are. And you're always going to have a bigger general or more casual audience than the core. That's why they call them the core, obviously. But that's to be expected. But then also the YouTube algorithm plays into that in a way that is both makes sense and is fucking stupid. Because
which I get it though. I get why the algorithm is not there to like help you out. It's not, it's like the algorithm's there for YouTube to make money. So it makes sense that they're like, okay, this is a gamer channel. All right, we'll promote it to our gamers. And then if you do a video about, I don't know, your favorite ramen joint, suddenly they're like, are you a foodie channel? Like the algorithm's not that smart to figure out who to promote it to. So I get why they like consistent
the
one lane stuff.
The algorithm, despite all the metrics that the algorithm does offer, which I do appreciate to an extent, it is kind of stupid when figuring out stuff like that. Like I relate it to kind of like for all my gamers out there, I play the video game Smite, which Oh God, that's a whole nother topic. Fucking Smite. But Smite has this way of determining like how good you are that's extremely basic. It basically just goes by your win rate or your win-loss ratio. Um, it could be like this in other games too. I'm sure it is when it comes to the rank system, but I really only play ranked Smite, so that's what I know. But like it only goes wins or losses. So you could have an individually great performance in that game, but if y'all lost for whatever reason, it only sees the loss. So it's going to start to bring you down the ladder. And I think that's kind of how the YouTube algorithm works sometimes. Like you could put out a fire video that is technically being well received, but for some stupid reason, like it could be the watch time. Yay, if you make a 3-minute video, even if your audience is watching like 70% of that video because it's 3 minutes and your last video was 20 minutes, that YouTube could count that as it performing worse and then not pump it out. Or like you were saying earlier, if you're mainly a gaming focused channel, maybe the people who are there just for your gaming, if you put out something that's non-gaming, they may scroll past it. Now, the people who are your core may like that. People outside of your audience may still like this, but because so many of your larger audience members are choosing to scroll past it, that's going to cause your click-through rate to go down, which is going to cause the algorithm to think that the video is underperforming, is going to put it out to less people, which is going to start the whole cycle again. And before you know it, you have a fire video that's dead weight on your fucking channel. Because YouTube.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was my point. Because YouTube. That was just the period.
I wish there was a different like medium, but I don't know what the future is, because I don't know if it's Rumble or Odyssey, because like the UI is not great, and Odyssey, the syncing is like there's a lot of tech stuff, so I don't know. And maybe YouTube will get their shit together, but I don't know if we'll ever go back to the golden age of where people, it was like the Wild Wild West, and people just kind of created whatever they felt like, Charlie the Unicorn or Power Thirst, or like silly stuff that was just.
That was so many eras of YouTube ago that we would have to genuinely like revert society completely to get that back. Like that's when I hear people talk about like the golden days of social media, the golden days of the internet. The society in the West and in general was in such a different place then that I don't think it's possible to get back to that. I think what we can do is, and it's going to take a while in general because, excuse me, I just was being fat before we ate, so I got burp a lot, but it's fine. But because of just how corporately motivated YouTube is now and how much of the system is in the hands of literal bots, there would have to be significant changes to the YouTube platform and system for significant change to take place. But it don't mean we can't move it along, even if we only moving it along like an inch at a time. Because Jesus Christ, I need there to either be a significant change in YouTube or there to be another platform that can rival it. And the ones you were throwing out, they're fine, but they're buggy. They're nowhere near as pristine and polished in terms of technical side. And also they tend to be very like niche. They're very like community focused, or like you come here to have free speech. And there's so much about YouTube that is easily accessible to the most normie. Like most people who watch YouTube don't even have accounts. And then most people who have accounts don't actually do anything with them. They're just like repositories for them to store favorites and comment on videos.
Really? That's like Twitter. Twitter, I think 80% of Americans don't even have a Twitter, and then the 20% that do, most of them don't even post or really use theirs. They might go on to scroll, but they don't really engage in the conversation.
Exactly.
Can't remember the original statement Musk made that sparked it, but Jeremy from Quartering said he would rather have more exposure, more so than more money. I agree. Like as a creative, I would rather have, I mean, money's nice, but I would rather have more exposure for like my art and get it out there and be able to impact people, maybe make them think or entertain them or whatever the purpose of that piece is. But also, even like the small scope I've had, some people have messaged me and been like, hey, like I'm a filmmaker, or hey, I'm we're a satire website. We really like your stuff. So like even on a small scale, it's been kind of cool to be like, wow, like this is a person who I didn't know, who didn't know me, that literally we linked up because the algorithm pushed me to their feed or something like that. So that's kind of cool to think, who else could be out there that sees it and is either inspired to make something themselves, or inspired to change their worldview or examine something, or inspired to reach out and collaborate with me. Like there's a lot of exciting things out there that exposure can give you that money can't.
I mean, that's how you and I linked up. Like I knew Gothics, and so I saw Gothics do your interview, and I'm like, holy shit, this woman is hilarious and touching on some good points. I want to talk to her. I want to pick her brain. I want to maybe work with her. And then fast forward some months, and here we are. Like that, in the early days, especially, I think valuing exposure over money is invaluable, and just making connections. Like
Mhm.
it's great when you do get money, but understand that the money is going to be slow in the beginning, and you shouldn't make that your end all be all. Like making the connections, like make networking, getting your stuff out there, getting in front of more eyes, because when you create and it's genuine, more people, like the saying goes, real recognize real, and people
Mm.
will see you and they will connect with your work and they will be inspired. They'll want to work with you. Opportunities will open. Like to this day, I don't think I've had to like ask to go on any of the shows I've gone on. Almost every single show that I've been on, every episode, every interview has been someone seeing my stuff and just wanting to talk to me or wanting to link up with me. And
Mhm.
I think the times where I have asked to go on, it was more like they opened the door to, for example, anybody having a new comic book out, or anyone who does YouTube videos about this topic, hit us up. And I'm like, hey, I do that. That's a good opportunity. But like, I've never had to beg, not saying that everyone begs, but I've never had to beg. I've never had to really try and just break my way into something, or go and just hit people up just saying I need to get on, I need to get on. It's just me doing my stuff, other people seeing it and spreading it around, and eventually it falls into the lap of someone who wants to work with me, and then that's just where it goes.
Well, that's kind of a inspirational thing for anybody out there who's thinking about creating. Just put your stuff out there. Don't
Yeah.
worry about if you're making money off of it yet, because you just never know. Like my web series, Ghosts and Stuff, didn't make me money. It cost me money, but then it got me some writing work. So it's like you just
Mhm.
never know,
You never know.
what it
And
could
then
lead to, and
yeah,
and let it
exactly.
sit. Let it go on the internet and let it sit, because somebody years later might discover it. You just don't
Yep.
give up on it.
And think of keep the long game in mind. Like why I think so a lot of people rush to get to like the area of creation where shit is complete and it's finished and it's out there and like it has massive appeal. Like there was a guy who I had interactions with last year who, well, he had a shit ton of problems, like problems with who he is as a core human. But like one of his biggest issues was he wanted to get stuff out there, but he rushed to like get to the last step.
Mm,
He acted like he needed to like go out and spend a bunch of money to get art made and do all this campaigning to do stuff, when simply interacting with people and talking more about his ideas and fleshing them out and working on them could have helped him build. And I think that when we create, we have the long game in mind. So it's okay if you have a comic book and maybe you don't make the goal. You have to you make some of the money, then you have to finish the rest with your own money. It's okay if you have if you have a YouTube channel and it doesn't take off year 1, year 2. I've been on YouTube actually making content since 2011. I only started to see genuine growth in 2020.
wow.
And that's for a lot of different reasons, almost all of which are completely my fault, which is why I have no problem admitting it, because I essentially learned how to get good at YouTube, and life experiences kept me from really just going after it as hard as I needed to. But in 2020, I just said, Animaine, we've had this channel long enough. We've been making videos long enough. We have been at 500 subscribers for like 7 years. It is time to put up or shut up. Either we gonna do this thing or we not. So I said, no more unplanned hiatuses, no more lackluster content where you just put it, you put like minimal effort into it and don't try to promote it or nothing. No more of that. You go after this thing, and if you drop it again, it's staying on the floor. You're deleting your channel. You're done. And ever since I made that promise to myself, my subscriber count has like quadrupled. I'm about to hit 3K subs now. So, growth is possible, but you just have to keep the long game in mind. Don't rush and try to become the next. I don't even know who big right now. Jack, I almost said Jacksepticeye. He big though. But I was thinking of what's the other guy? Markiplier.
Oh,
I'm so out of the big loop, y'all. I'm a boomer when it comes to some of those people. But don't rush out, try to be the next Markiplier. Don't think you just gonna be the next Critical Drinker or Eric July the moment you start doing stuff, because most likely you won't. I mean, those guys took a long time to grow their channel, so it's gonna take a long time for you to do for whatever you do. But just be okay playing that long game and just make those connections, and you'll get there.
I think that's something that
value where you are.
I have to remind myself that all the time, because I keep being like, all right, everything's got to be perfect. It's got to be like as if I've been doing it for 10 years. But it's like, it's kind of nice to be small sometimes, because then you're like, I can make mistakes. I can try a new type of video. I can react to something that a bigger channel might not be able to react to, because then they'd lose a jillion followers. It's like, whereas if I lose 3, it's like, well, whatever, bye. Right. It's more about having the freedom to experiment and try things and see what sticks. So this is completely off topic, but I came across an interesting article and I was curious what you thought about it.
Okay, as you give the devious eye, that's
it's
when
not
I know.
Devious.
Yes,
it's not.
is.
It's not
lies.
No, it's actually
lies.
Not. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Window. Nope. What? There we go. So it like popped up in my feed and it made me laugh. So can you see that? Let's see.
What?
Yes. Because I was just on a plane yesterday and we had some like issues and we had to like deplane, but I'm glad that this did not happen. But it says, Jesus told her to open the plane door. Woman flying from Houston bit someone on flight in effort to open plane door at 37,000 feet, Doc says. So a woman who the FBI said forced a Southwest Airlines plane from Houston to Columbus, Ohio to make an emergency landing in Little Rock, Arkansas, said in mid-flight that Jesus told her to open the plane door. Documents released by the U.S. District Court, blah, 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 says the 34... So she wasn't even old. I was thinking maybe she was like an old senile lady, but apparently not. Okay. So the 34-year-old walked to the back of the plane where she stared at the exit door. That's got to be terrifying.
Weirdly enough, because my brain never stops. We were talking about the diversity and the representations earlier and shit. And I don't know if you've ever read Ironheart in the comic books, but
no.
In her original run, part of her origin story, and she's essentially Black Girl Iron Man, like literally. A genius Black girl who made her own Iron Man suit. And I'm leaving out a lot of details for the sake of brevity, but one of her parts of her origin was when she was a little girl, she got into an argument with her teacher because she tried to make her teacher be racist. She tried to because she was saying, I want to be an astronaut, and she held up a picture of, I think, Mae Jemison, and was like, they told her that she wouldn't be an astronaut, but she did because she was Black. And then the teacher was like, yes, that's nice, Riri. But she was like, no, you're supposed to tell me that I need to be a nurse or something because I'm Black. And then I do it anyway. And they got in an argument, but basically the teacher didn't want to be racist to her. And so Riri just sat there and just was standing up, staring a hole into the teacher's head until she finally just said something just to get her to shut up. And the panel of her staring, and the panel just slowly zooming in on Riri's like demented 8-year-old face was hilarious.
Oh, I was wondering.
I'm imagining now.
I thought you were going to say her origin story was that her parents got sucked out an airplane door or something. I was like, what does this have to do with the story?
That would have been so much more fucking interesting. But no, Brian Michael Bendis decided just to make her an 8-year-old psychopath and stare her teacher into racism. But that's the look I'm getting of like this 34-year-old woman just staring increasingly intensely at the door. And finally someone notices, like, she's been standing there for like 5 minutes and is just staring at that door. We should probably go get her and say, Jesus told me.
That would freak me the fuck out. Like this, because like there's a difference between somebody standing because they look like they're trying to stretch their legs or they're by the bathroom. But they said a flight attendant then told the woman to either use the bathroom or sit down. Another flight attendant said the female passenger asked two flight attendants if she could look out the window, and she received a negative response from the flight attendant. She forced her way past the flight attendant and began to pull the handle of the exit door in an attempt to open the door at 37,000 feet. A passenger who overheard someone say, "She's trying to open the door," went to the rear of the plane and helped detain the woman, wrestling her to the ground, but not before she bit the passenger on the thigh and apparently held on, which
Well, that's not
is
sexy.
impressive.
I mean, it
I
could
mean,
be, but it wasn't now. If
yeah,
my life wasn't a danger at 37,000 feet, that might be kind of hot, but no.
you're like making notes. Let me tell the girlfriend later.
You know, like next time when it's time for us to join the Mile High Club, I know what move I'm doing. You know,
I don't get the Mile High Club thing. I think is complete bullshit because if you've ever been on an airplane, those
Mhm.
bathrooms are barely big enough for one person. Like I can barely like sometimes even like take off my pants or whatever. Like it's just like
Yeah.
so freaking tight in there. There's no fucking way two people could fit in there. I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's. I don't think it
you
happens.
have to rain on my parade with your realism.
No, no. I think the Mile High Club, if you were doing stuff like you do in a movie theater where you're like in the
Mhm.
back row and like maybe like while everybody's asleep, you're doing stuff under a blanket on a plane, sure, I
Yeah.
believe that. I don't believe anybody who says that they've joined the Mile High Club unless they had like a private jet or something.
Oh
That's
yeah.
my take.
Like I ain't small. None of my girlfriends. I've had like one girlfriend who was actually like a legit teacup human. Everybody else had a little extra cushion on them, including my current girlfriend, who I am planning on being my last girlfriend. So
Nice. Because you're going to murder her.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll make sure you private this live stream after it's
Mhm.
done. She could never see this.
I will private it right to the FBI. I'll just give them an unlisted
See,
link.
See, and I was gonna help you corral them roosters and chickens and shit later, but see, now you're on your own again. Now you're on your fucking own.
Listen. I don't want to be accomplice to the murder of your teacup girlfriend. Well, I guess this isn't your teacup girlfriend. That was a previous one. This is your
Yes.
regular
She's
sized girlfriend.
partial teacup. She got like the height of a teacup human, but she got
Okay.
a little extra, oomph on her, which is what I like. So that's good.
She got the badonk of like a, I don't know, I was about to say pot-bellied pig, but that's not very flattering.
she got the height of mini me with a juicy dump truck. Just,
Yes.
there you go.
That's an image. So
You're
anyway, so we're on the plane, right? They're wrestling. She like bites a passenger's leg who was wrestling her to the ground. They said she continued to bite the victim until the victim worked their fingers up to her jawline in an attempt to have her release the bite, which she eventually did. So like a dog, like having to like.
Oh my god! With like the hook, she gave him like the
Yeah.
fish hook.
The claw. I don't really. I mean, this woman. I imagine she must have been on some kind of drugs because, like, that kind of bite.
Yo,
That's
this is like bath salts level of fucking
yes.
crazy.
Where you like eat someone's face in Florida. Like, does it say if
Right.
she's from Florida?
It should. Please please let her be from Florida.
It doesn't
Please
say
God,
where
let her
she's.
be from Florida because that would be so fucking funny.
It doesn't say where she's from, but it says documents said that's when the woman began hitting her head on the plane floor, and then later said Jesus told her to fly to Ohio. No, that's how you know it's not Jesus. That's the devil. And Jesus told her to open the plane door.
Right. See, man. Oh my god. This is. Oh, okay. Bath salts. It's either bath salts or she from Florida. There's no other way I'm gonna believe in this story.
¿Por qué no los dos? It could be
Like,
both.
Like, listen. Anywhere there needs to be phrases just like you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. You shouldn't yell out about Jesus on a plane.
She didn't yell. She was silent about Jesus. I think that made it even creepier because it wasn't even like Allahu Jesus or whatever, or I don't know, like whatever the jihadi Christian equivalent
That's
would be.
a crossing of the streams I never thought I'd hear.
Or Jesus who Akbar. I don't know. Anyway, but like it says that she apparently told authorities she planned to go to Maryland to stay with a family friend who was a pastor. That still doesn't explain. Okay. Well, anyway,
What
she left
the
her home on
fuck?
Saturday without telling her husband and did not bring any luggage and was traveling alone. Jesus Christ. She had not flown in a long time and could not recall the last time she had flown. Documents say she claimed she could not breathe on the plane and decided to get up from her seat. She said she remembered trying to open the door and bit the person. She also said she had anxiety or has anxiety and became very anxious and normally would not have done those things. Okay,
See,
you can't
nope,
blame
nope.
I have anxiety, generalized anxiety disorder, and neurodivergent, and that's why I tried to open the door on the
I'm
plane. You can't oppress me.
neurodivergent, and I have anxiety, and I have borderline personality disorder. So I need to open this door plane. No, shut the fuck up. See, I hate. And I know that there's genuine, obviously, like real mental health issues. I have a good amount of my own, but the ease that people will run to this shit and just say, "Oh, I had anxiety. I had this. I had that." Is it that, or are you just what we would call back in the day fucking crazy?
I
And they
mean,
need to have mandatory straitjackets on the plane, or are you even? Go ahead.
they're acknowledging that they're crazy, but now it's cool. It used to be like, so at least they're like, yeah, I am crazy. And then they're listing all the ways they're crazy. Whereas in the past, it would be like a stigma about it. And now it's like
Yeah.
collecting disorders like Pokemon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh God. If someone has not made that, write that idea down because I need that to exist.
I thought about it. I'm like, I'd have to figure out how to do like After Effects to do like a Pokeball effect. But I was trying to do it either with like mental disorders or with like gotta catch them all for like labels or something.
Mhm.
Like, like or like it's like a
Yeah.
fake product where it's like, the first one to get more labels wins the Tower of Oppression or something like that. I don't know.
Exactly.
Like a fake 90s game commercial.
They'll be so good. They'll be so good. Like just people running around with like the super soakers and Tamagotchis, but it's like oppression points.
I have all sorts of like fake ads that I want to do, but I would need money because you would need to like have like a product. Like I need to have somebody like 3D print me some stuff or like, and
Mhm.
have like music or whatever. And then people would need to let me borrow their children. And that just is problematic, because I'm like, I need them to be in the commercial being like, oh, what was it? There was one I wanted to do called like ad hominem. But it like,
Mhm.
but it was the ad hominem. So it's gonna be like an X-Men like figurine line, but it was gonna be
Oh.
like all the different things that we call each other online, and it's like,
Oh my God.
like
Now I'm remembering the 90s X-Men intro, but with just like all the attacks that people have, like
yup.
one for like triggered snowflake and racist, all that shit. Oh my God, it's so good.
And there's gonna be like, what was it? I had like, because I had one for like the different sides and stuff like that. I had like Team Red, Team
Mhm.
Blue, and all that stuff, like the things
Yeah.
they get called, and
Oh my God.
I was
This
thinking
this
like
needs to be made.
Uncle Tom could be like, like
Yes,
I don't know,
Uncle
like would
Tom
you
needs to be where Uncle Tom needs to come in where Professor X came in the cartoon. Like he
just roll in and
exactly he rolls in, and we can look. I got a friend who make music. We can hire someone to make some discount knockoff X-Men music.
that could be really funny, like knockoff X-Men music. And I didn't even think about animation. I was thinking I'd have to 3D print some toys, but like if you actually know
I mean,
somebody who
you
could
can
like
do that too. But
animate stuff, we could do a
I
janky intro.
I got the connections, man. The girl, you stick with me, and you'll go far.
All right. I mean, that sounds a little Harvey Weinstein. It'll be like
I mean, I ain't say get on the plane, goddamn. Someone be on this plane.
come to the airplane bathroom, Amanda.
Promise you, I am neither Bill Clinton nor Bill Cosby. You being linked to me will not result in sexual things.
Great. Unless I wanted to. Like it's a bipolar schizophrenia. I choose you.
Oh my God.
I need to put that sketch out. I don't even know if I have it done. I could maybe show you guys a rough draft of it. I had
Yes. Premium
'cause
content.
I filmed it. I can't remember what stage of editing it is. I think I had done one pass and I liked it, but it felt a little bit slow. But I made something. It was like a short. It was supposed to be a reel, and I think it wasn't quite 1 minute. But it was
I
making
hate
fun of
that
how
about it.
everybody was pretending to have DID, like dissociative identity disorder, on TikTok, and so I was making fun of that. But
Hell yeah.
let's see. Oh gosh, I haven't looked at this in a while though, so let's see if it actually is funny or if it's not. But
Let's
y'all
see. It's a new game on Amanda channel. Y'all. It's called Funny or Cringe.
can mostly just cringe.
Shut up.
Let's see. Okay, let me know if the audio doesn't work because this is all right. Oh, this is embarrassing. It's weird. It's like free diving. So I'm like, usually I like to like watch my sketches a million times before I like share them. But I'm like, there's like 14 people watching. It's fine. All right. So, like how all these people, and this is for the record, this is not me making fun of mental illness. It's me making fun of people who use mental illness to promote their stuff, to be their thing, where they're like, I'm, the TikToker with dissociative identity disorder. It's like, yo, I went to like a rehab/trauma camp once. I've seen people dissociate, and you, sir, are no dissociator. Like it's yeah. Severe trauma has to happen to you for your brain to be compartmentalizing like that. And even then, therapists debate on whether it's even, like it's not a biological thing. It's like a trauma thing. But like even then, people debate on whether it's like all in there. I don't know. I guess it's all mental illness is usually in your head. That's why it's mental. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Anyway. All right, let's see. Let me know if you can't hear it.
Hey guys, I'm Blue and I suffer from a rare condition called dissociative identity disorder, and I just wanted to introduce you to my system of alters. Oh, I feel a switch coming on camera. How can...
Sound went out.
Wait, okay. Hold on.
Deontay is such a trickster. And before you
because somebody said to mute myself, but when I mute myself, it doesn't, because I'm trying to mute my mic. I'm not trying to mute that, so I don't know why it does that. Is it echoing? I don't know how to fix that then.
What you could do is, since this is a file just from your computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you add this to like the backstage area where it has like your brand and stuff? You should be able to upload that as like a standalone clip, and then you can play the clip, and we won't even be on screen here. It will be just like when you do like your the countdown. It'll just be that playing. So. And and as long as the audio is on and everything, we should be able to hear everything.
Weird. All right. Well, let's see. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna see if I can try to mess with the settings or whatever. But thank you guys for bearing with me. I'll figure it out eventually. Because it used to have a thing that said like share audio, and now it doesn't. Because I was gonna say I don't trust you, Animaine, because last time you tried to show. Last time you tried to do it,
yes, that's when the porn came up. Yes, but we're not gonna talk about that. The porn came up, but no, it should say that when you do the screen share thing, and it has a little box at the bottom that says share system audio.
I'm Blue, and I suffer from a rare condition called dissociative identity disorder, and I just wanted to introduce you to...
Is that work? Hold on.
That was much
better.
My
system of alters. Oh, I feel a switch coming on camera. Hey guys, I'm Blue, and I suffer from a rare condition called dissociative identity disorder, and I just wanted to introduce you to my system of alters. Oh, I feel a switch coming on camera. How convenient. Yo, Blue, you little bitch. Wait, what? You heard me. Deontay is such a trickster. And before you get offended, that actually wasn't vocal blackface, because Deontay is one of my many, many BIPOC alters. I have a very inclusive system. Oh, I feel another switch coming. Hey, I'm Kieran, the sexy big brother alter. Hey, Kieran! Yeah. You think Blue's a little bitch? Hundo P.
Hi, I'm Bryn, the caretaker alter, and I too think Blue is a little bitch.
This isn't funny. You're supposed to be my protectors. Yeah, protecting you from being a little bitch. Stop it. You're being ableist. Girl, daddy didn't hug you enough, ain't a disability. Aha. Okay, I have a real diagnosable mental illness. Diagnosed by who? Dr. TikTok MD? Okay, I do have DID. I did that challenge where you put down a finger for every symptom that kind of sounds like you, and I put down all 5. Oh, you're all the worst! Lammy, help me out here. Oh, damn, Lammy! That was tight. A2, Lammy? Whatever. None of you are real anyway. I did it all for the clicks! Wait, I'm sorry. You guys aren't fake. I would never fake a serious mental illness just for social media clout. I mean, that must have been one of my other alters who would do that. Guys? What am I gonna do now? If I don't have multiple personalities, then I have no personality. Wait, is not having a personality a mental disorder? Hey guys, I'm Blue, and I suffer from a serious condition called a personality disorder. Wait.
There you go. Now, why is that? Wait, remove from stream. There you go. So I was trying to make a reel because I was trying to play with short content, but it wasn't. It was 2 minutes and it needs to be
wasn't
1
short.
minute.
Yes.
So
now that would be perfect. That wouldn't work, obviously, for the shorts up here, but that I think. How long can TikToks be? I don't know. I've seen like
TikToks
some.
can be up to 10 minutes now, I think. But the problem is if I
Oh,
put that on TikTok, I mean, look, it is meant to be for them, but also I'm
yes.
kind of trying not to cross the streams because I feel
No,
like
do cross it.
yeah, you say that, but like I feel like on TikTok they'll try and like I don't know. My Star Sand's going through that right now.
And
where
you,
like
yeah, I was just about to say because Star got into it with them. I think hopefully that's died down at least some because they just been like up her ass for like just for no reason for like weeks. It's just so bad. But I don't know. I think I'd say I would probably risk doing that, but maybe I don't know. What? Okay, go ahead.
it's more that TikTok is such a young militant audience, and I don't think that they would get the nuance. They'd be like, "Why are you making fun of mental illnesses?" And then it'd be like, "Who does she work for?" And then my anime career would like tumble. And like, granted, I know that that's the potential
Oh,
anyway, but it's more just that that's a very heavy anime based thing. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out because I'm like, I don't really want to get canceled before I get started, because they'll report the shit out of you and then they'll get your account
Mhm.
banned because the AI doesn't care what you actually posted. They'll just ban your account. And so it's like, I don't really
Yeah.
know if TikTok's worth it for me, but
Well, I will say that if you can get that down to a workable short length, definitely post that shit because that shit was fucking good. Like especially when like Lammy started popping up and shit. Like that was too much. That was too much. Matter of fact, uh we'll talk we got to talk after this a little bit because I have an idea potentially. So remind
okay.
me after the show, please.
All right, I will. Um, but yeah, like just the mental illness thing of the lady on the plane, like that, or I don't know if it's mental illness, could be drugs, could be either, could be both. But
Mhm.
it just reminded me of that. I don't know if that sketch is relevant anymore because I feel like they've stopped doing that as much. Like this was one I made like months ago. I made a lot of sketches months ago and then didn't finish them for
Mm.
one reason or another. And now I just don't know if they're relevant, so I hold on to them until the next time it comes around because
Yeah.
everything's
Well, but
cyclical.
that's the good thing about stuff like these issues. Well, yeah, you will have times where they rise and fall in prominence and like the what people are discussing the most, but this trend that you're like cracking on or satirizing, that's been around for a minute and I highly doubt it's going to really go anywhere anytime soon. So like unless you sit on it for maybe another 5-10 years, it'll do some it'll get good reception. I think it'll
I
hit
think
a lot of chords.
I think this is my ever since I was a kid, I was always like that weirdo who loved to perform, but I hated being seen. And so I think that's the thing I'm
Mm.
fighting because there are things I could be doing to
Yes.
really get this channel out there, but I'm
Mhm.
terrified because I'm
Well,
like, it's like,
yeah.
oh, I could put it on TikTok, but then if the wrong people see it, they will find you, they'll find your family. Like it's kind of scary. And I don't know if I'm ready for that yet,
See,
where they're gonna like,
this is a good reason why we linked up because I'm the opposite. I was the kid who intentionally did shit to be seen as much as possible because it was both a coping mechanism and a way to keep from getting my ass beat. I learned very early in life the power of laughter, especially when you can like crack on yourself or stuff
mm,
about you, essentially taking the B rabbit approach from 8 Mile where you just meme yourself so good that no one else has any ammo or just
no,
being funny in general.
that's that. No, I did that. I didn't do it for attention, but yeah, I did it to protect myself back in the day.
Yeah.
I'd just make fun of myself before anybody else could. And even now, I feel
Yep.
like I think maybe some of my comedy is a little bit more digestible because I'm self-deprecating. So they're not, if they see, I mean, they're not going to look at my other stuff because people don't look at context. They just look at the one thing that they want to be mad about. But like,
Yeah.
if they were to look at my other stuff, they'd see I make fun of myself just as much as I make fun of other groups or other ideologies. So it's like usually people can handle it when they go, okay, she's not just making fun of me, she's making fun of her too. So I guess it's fair game. Like
Yeah.
Chappelle, I didn't see the monologue yet, but everybody's like, oh, it's brilliant. But they're all people are all mad about him saying that the joke about Jews, but he makes fun of everybody.
Mhm.
I don't get why people are so butthurt.
When you can make fun of everyone in the room, including yourself, there are very few people who won't be won over. And but getting back to what we were just a couple of seconds ago, I was also very big on performance and loving to just like, I made so many one kid shows, and like I was one of those kids with like, one of the reasons why I'm so comfortable on the mic and so good at editing audio is because I've kind of been doing that my whole life. Like literally, when I figured out how to record stuff on the little colorful like little Fisher Price thing, I had that, and then that graduated to me taking my parents' actual boombox and like recording over their like cassette tapes of Richard Pryor and like fucking stuff they recorded off of the radio, because I was in my own little world, and like I loved that. So I think that like legit it's good that we linked up, because you have that energy. You just need to have someone, or you just need to find a way to tap into it in a way that's more like, I'm gonna put myself out there, and come what may, and whoever got stuff to say, they can suck a dick and eat an ass and all that good shit.
That's the funny thing, is I have like two sides of me. I have the side of me that really is like, die mad about it, I don't care.
Yes.
Like that side, like that's I think the true essence of me. But there's also the part of me that's like, God, I really want you to like me. And it's just like, it's they're both
It's
me,
both
I guess.
you. Yeah. They're both you. It's just you just have to know how to tap into which one at which time.
Right. And
you gotta know when to have that,
and how to deal with, I guess, like, because like Ryan Long, I really like listening to the Boys Cast, and I went back and listened to, he had been doing his podcast for a while, and then he blew up because he did that sketch that was like woke versus racist or something like that, and it went viral, and it was so funny to hear him talk about it, because he was still kind of in that phase of like, man, like he's like, it's kind of weird, guys, like, and now he's like, I don't care, because he's learned that it's not the end of the world. But it is interesting to hear a creator go from being like, I'm exposed and everybody's attacking me, and like, because most people are not meant to be like, most humans will never have that many people come and attack them at once, unless they're like, being attacked by like attacked by like a lynch mob or something like that. Like, it's not a fun feeling. And so it's just interesting. And then Gothix was the same way when she if you watch that video, I can't remember which one it was, but it was like when she first got started and she was crying and she was like, God, like,
I've seen that one.
It's not okay. Like, this is like, and then a year later she made a video of like clipping that and then showing where she is now, and somebody made like a mean comment or something like that, and she's eating cereal during her stream, and she stands up and she points at the shirt that says like, in loving memory of when I last gave a fuck, or something like that. So it's kind of cool to see like
the evolution. The evolution of the creator and the de-evolution of fucks. Like, as they grow, their fucks about this bullshit just decrease.
Amanda, multiple personality confirmed. Yeah, that's actually why that's why I made the sketch, because I was like, I actually have multiple personalities, and this is like really offensive to me that you guys are pretending. Because I'm just trying to like come out as a crazy person. Well, I've already come out as a crazy person, and I like this. Inside of you are two wolves, a need for validation, and a wolf.
Merch that shit. Merch that shit. That is fucking dope. Make sure you give this person their cut for coming up with that dope idea, but that saying is so good. I like that.
No, how do you pronounce your name? Is it Velguadir? Because we've been hanging out in the Discord and all that, and we were having some really cool like nuanced conversations, and I was like, all right, like, oh yeah, I'll put the link for the Discord for anybody who hasn't joined yet. But it's kind of
join the Dirtbag Society, where we're no, what was it? What was the thing we were talking about way back when you delightsome? Come be delightsome with us.
Yeah, white and delightsome. Because during the Mormon reaction video, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, whenever we say like delightsome degenerates, is it was like I think we learned it was an anti-Mormon cartoon, but I did a reaction video to it, and it was claiming like all these different things about what Mormons believe. And there was one part where they talked about the Mormons or the people that didn't help in the revolution to, I don't know, against Lucifer, became black people. or something like that. Like they're like the ones who refused to fight became dark skinned, and that's their explanation for the Negro race. And then the rest of them, were white and delightsome, and it was just like the Aryans basically, and they were like the ones who were the chosen Mormons. So now we're all delightsome degenerates is the joke.
Oh my God, that video was so good. That's the best piece of anti-Mormon propaganda I've ever seen in my life.
It took me a while because at first I'm like, oh, maybe this is just, I guess this is explaining it. But halfway through, I'm like, something's weird about this. So yeah, by the end, I was able to figure out like, okay, I think this isn't necessarily a pro-Mormon thing. I thought it was just a video explaining what they believed, but some of my Mormon friends say it is.
They had that perfect deadpan, like late 60s, early 70s cadence when they were talking, but they would just randomly say some absurd shit like, and this is why they worship Jesus and also Joseph Smith from America.
Like I said in there, Joseph Smith is like the biggest insert character guy of like history, where he's just like, he was like a huge Bible, like a Bible fan, and he's just like, oh man, I wish I could be a part of this story. So he just like creates his own like OG, original character.
Yeah, it's essentially it's Bible fan fiction that just went too fucking far. That's why he's sitting up there with Jesus and God the Father now. Like, why is this random dude from a couple decades ago chilling with Jesus and Moses and them? Because he's a Mary Sue in his own Bible fan fiction, and people just happen to make a religion out of it.
I like that Joseph Smith is the Mary Sue of religions, is what you're saying.
Yes, him and L. Ron Hubbard are right there, like neck and neck. Like the fact that these people lived in living memory of people who are still alive today, but they're ancient. They're on par with ancient prophets because.
Wait, who's still? I'm pretty sure L. Ron Hubbard's not still alive, or Joseph Smith. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying people have walked the earth the same time they walked the earth. And those people are still alive. Like people who are alive today were alive when they were here. Like they haven't been dead that long is my point.
I don't know if
people that haven't like been. Say what now?
Isn't Joseph Smith from like the 1800s?
I thought it was 1900s.
I don't think so. L. Ron Hubbard maybe, but not Joseph Smith.
Yeah, or at least L. Ron Hubbard is definitely like has not been dead that long. But even 1800s ain't that long ago. Like it's long ago, but compared to like Jesus and Moses' time, that's like yesterday.
I mean, listen.
At the very least, there was a United States of America when Joseph Smith was here.
That's the whole thing, is that he's like, oh yeah, Jesus, the Native Americans were actually Israelites, and also this, and like he like made America part of the fan fiction.
Right. That's like the worst. Like y'all think Last Jedi and all that shit was bad? No. When these people decided that the United States needs to be part of the biblical canon, that's when I knew that all this shit has just jumped the shark.
L. Ron apparently died in 86. So
yeah, that's literally 2 years before I was fucking born.
I was born in 87. Maybe I am actually the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard, and that's why I have this need to create crazy shit.
I mean, but there's a striking lack of like needing to also take people's money and brainwash them and take them on boats and have them be like captains in your cult and shit.
It's because
there's not nearly enough tentacle alien shit going on around you.
Speak for yourself. Check out the Discord. Also, I would have all that. I just don't have a boat. Like that's what I'm working towards. Why do you think I'm trying so hard to get monetized? I'm trying to get that.
Do you think that stopped L. Ron Hubbard? Do you think he stopped when he said, "I ain't got no boat"? You know what he did? Got a boat.
I guess that's like the advice people give you, where they're like, "Hey, have you ever thought about not being poor?" Or you're like, "I can't sleep." Right. Have you ever thought about sleeping better? Like, have you ever thought about just getting a boat?
Hey, you're fat. You ever thought about not being? I kind of like that one, to be honest, though.
Have you ever tried not being fat? Or
yeah, have you ever tried not being like Eric July? I think said that one time. I was like, "Yo, don't be fat." There you go. Be fat. Best advice, Eric. There you go. 10 out of 10. Never thought of that, man, in my long-legged life. Hey, I'm fat. I don't like being fat. Wait.
Well, don't
just not be fat.
I mean, if it's the thought that counts, if I just think I'm not, I identify as not being fat, then I'm probably fine, right? I can just identify.
I mean, yes, but that's the wrong direction. You're supposed to embrace your fatness and then destroy the world so that now it
Right.
revolves around you.
Wait, but so what if I just okay, so what if I identify as a thin person, but I still stay fat? Is that still, like, woke enough, or is that still fat shaming? I
No,
mean,
because it's all about embracing what you are and beating people over the head with it so that now they love you.
hmm,
So you should love yourself, but more than loving yourself, you need to force the world to love you too. That's the woke
hmm.
way. Like
Right,
the
I need to force them to
exactly.
date me. I need to be like,
Yes.
if you don't date people who are fat but identify as skinny, but are against fat phobia, but like then like this whole like and also have multiple personality disorder and this and that, then you are a bigot.
There you go. Exactly. That is also the woke way. Everything is connected. So if someone doesn't protect potential, oh, I'm making up words today. If someone doesn't particularly care for morbidly obese bodies and can express that in a respectful way, words sometimes work. I swear, y'all. But if they don't do that, then that means that they are literally racist, sexist, homophobic, classist. They're definitely anti-neurodivergency. They want to go get COVID and then cough in your grandma's face so that they kill her.
Right.
They literally they endorse touching of kids. They endorse all the things, just all the bad things. They want to lock all the Mexicans in cages. They want to literally go and beat Chinese people in the street. And yeah, there's a clan. There's at least 5 clan hoods in their closet right now, and probably one of them got
Listen,
blood on it.
I have one. It doesn't have blood on it, but I do have one clan hood.
Is it an actual? Is it authentic, or is it like a kente cloth clan hood?
No, a kente cloth clan hood. That sounds
Yeah.
nice and inclusive. No, I had it for a sketch that I was gonna make. It's still on the docket.
Oh
It's
yeah, I remember that one. Is
the
that the
one,
one with the neighbor when the neighbor
yeah,
like saw you filming it?
yeah. So I was filming it and I was trying. It's like a sketch where I'm trying to join the clan because I got called a white supremacist on the internet. So I was like, oh, I guess I'll see if I belong here. And the white supremacist like because it's making fun of how like actual racists would not be my friend. Like actual
Yeah.
racists are different than like internet racism. So I was basically filming this sketch at my parents' house and there's a scene where I'm like, down yelling up at them like, "Hey racists," and then he comes out on the balcony and he is also me. He is me. It's
He
2022.
is me and I am him.
But I come out and I'm wearing like, I have like a white sheet and then I have like this white clan hood which was like literally just a pillowcase that I like just cut. And
Yeah.
I was filming it and like nobody was outside. It was fine. The moment I step outside in the clan hood, the neighbor pops out. And of course the neighbor's black and they're just like looking. I don't know if they saw me or not because I like ran back inside. But granted, to be fair, I think we filmed the part where I was yelling first. So maybe they heard me yelling racists. And they were like,
Oh god.
but then they
You
step out and they
see?
see
You'd have fucked around and almost found out that
they
you almost went viral, Mandy. You almost went it.
I mean, that would have been. I might have almost gotten murdered. They just like shoot me off the balcony.
Man, look, we off that now. It's this is the age of just record when people do shit. Like you got to be like in the hood to get a response like that, where they just
Okay.
straight up shoot you.
Just cap you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can even find that clip. But like
See, that
it's like
sounds too good. It almost sounds like the skit itself sounds funny, and also the reaction you had to someone watching you sounds hilarious. Like that should be like a blooper. I know it's not, but it should
yeah.
be included in like a blooper reel.
We the funny thing is too is that it came out of my mom's room. So my mom has the balcony outside of her room, and she and she's the only white one in the family. Like the rest of us are, mixed or they're black like my dad. So like my mom's the white one. So of course it looks like a Klansman comes out of the one white person's room in the house.
Yes.
It's
time.
So I'm trying to see if I can find it. I don't know if I can even find it.
Oh, it's so freaking good.
But Mike, what you doing? Why are you still at the office or are you just at home like in your underpants just watching me not have you co-host with me? What's
Mike,
going
like,
on?
look, you got a full replacement Negro today. I'm taking the day off.
Mike's like, you don't need my half black ass. You got a full black. And a full black is going to be way better at doing the heavy lifting because it's in his blood. It's in his
Exactly.
DNA.
Just don't get me around the chickens because that's like the kryptonite. So like you and Mike should totally go in on this whole killing them chickens thing because y'all will get all the benefits and none of the weaknesses if you eat
That's
the mega
true.
chickens.
Well, I was thinking more like, I guess, we're the house slaves, you're the field slaves. So you're used to doing the heavy lifting. So I'm just like,
See, yes, but I also have to take it and make it nerdy because that's what the nerd in my brain doesn't stop. It never turns off.
the chicken thing reminds me of the mutant chickens. I was chasing one of them because I really want to eat my strawberries this year. Every year they eat them or something eats them. Slugs, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, the moment they turn red, there's like holes in them. I'm like, God damn it. So like I found one in my backyard and I start running and I'm chasing it and I'm thinking I'm gonna like grab it and like throw it out, whatever into the back into the back into the world. And it just goes woof and like flies. And I know chickens are not supposed to fly, but I have a 6-foot fence and that chicken cleared that fence. So I don't know if I was lied to about chicken biology or if that was like one of them mutant chickens that we were talking about earlier. Like that is, I don't know. Something's happening, man. Like we need to, we stop worrying about Bill Gates, stop worrying about China. We got to worry about these chickens. Something's happening.
Chickens, man. The chicken revolution is coming, man. You caught, and that was just a foot soldier you had. Wait till you meet like the actual big boss chickens. Like this chicken cleared the fence. The big boss chicken is gonna be as tall as the fence, and then at that point, at that point, ain't nothing we can do. We got to stop these chickens before they grow, like literally. But that's fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's God. Like my brain is all over the place. Let me finish that friggin' story from like an hour and a half ago with the freaking cat. Just because it's funny to me because it's reminding me of like my homesteading journey because I'm like, well, if I could do this, I could be a homesteader. But basically, I ended up having to take like a pitchfork to like pick the cat up. Oh, wait, no, I dug a hole. I had to dig a hole. You had to dig like a 2 to 3 foot hole because it has to be deep enough that the other animals won't smell it and try to dig it up because you don't want that later. Like,
Right.
so my neighbors probably look over and see me digging like 3 to 4 different holes because I kept digging a hole and hitting tree roots because I have trees that are like 100 years old and I'm like, I don't know where to dig. So I dug a hole, hit tree roots 2 feet deep. I was like, all right, fine. I moved like, 15 feet away, try to dig another hole, hit something else. I think the third hole might've been like the one I went all the way across the yard. I go 2 feet deep. I hit like a water pipe. I'm like, oh, fuck it. You're going in. Cause I think it was supposed to be 3 feet, but whatever. So first off, I'm like in a hoodie digging holes in the dark. So that also just looks sketchy enough as it is. Then I'm grabbing like a shovel trying to pick up this cat, but it's like a full grown cat and it wouldn't fit on the shovel. It kept like falling off. And I'm like squealing now. I'm just like, and like curling up. I'm like, okay, I got this. Cause like and the cat was just like looking at you because it's got like this face, like, and I'm like, please don't, I'm so sorry.
No,
Please
stop staring at me with your dead eyes. God damn it.
with your judgment eyes. And I'm just like trying to pick him up and he's like flopping around. I'm like, oh, please don't haunt me. I'm so sorry, but you shouldn't have died in my yard. I don't know what to do. And he's like up against my porch, but also wedged behind a bush. So it's not like I can like easily get to him. So I'm trying to take the shovel and the pitchfork. And I'm like, ha, ha. And it just like wasn't quite working. And I called my friend. I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, fucking man up. Take a blanket or something, throw it over it and manhandle it however you got to, like, shoot it out of there or whatever. Because part of it was that I was trying to be delicate. So I take like a trash bag and I throw it over him and I'm like, I'm sorry. And I like kind of like just, squeeze him out of there. I'm like, okay, there's like 15 feet to the hole. You got this. You can do it. So I'm walking with this like, dead body and this like, the tarp over it or the, trash bag, and the wind blows. And then it knocks the trash bag off. I look, I see the cat. He looks horrifying. So I like, and then he flies off the shovel. And now he flips to his like Phantom of the Opera side. And I'm like freaking disgusted. So I like trip and I'm like right by him. And I like grab the shovel and I didn't pick him up. I just fling him over to the hole. And he's like in the hole and I just like throw dirt on him and then put a rock on top of it. I don't know why, like just to make sure he wouldn't get out or something. But like that was my That was my.
First of all, I'm impressed that in all that turmoil, you managed to sink a hole in one. Like you on your first.
I was close. I was
When
close
it
to the
came
hole.
to it, close to the hole.
I was close to the hole. It was not like across the yard. That would have been, if that had happened, I probably would have flung it and it would have hit the window and like streaked down or something. Like that's my luck.
No, I'm waiting for the story like that. That sounds so fucking funny though. Just the image of you tripping and all this other stuff, and then just in your pure terror, you sink like a 3-point shot, and then it just goes perfectly into the hole.
It's like that. It's like in a moment of adrenaline where you're like, or a mom is able to like lift a car. You got that
Right.
that terror strength where you're like, "Ugh," and apparently
Exactly.
I'm like, but
So
no,
you know
I
what your thing is.
after the shot or after that though, I was like, I can do anything, and I got really into digging holes for a while. I don't know what to tell you. There was something about like I returned it to the earth and now it's going to fertilize my garden. And also, what else can I put in holes? And so for a while I was just like I did it in the backyard this time, but for some reason I would put compost in holes. Like I just like the idea of like, oh, this is going like I don't know. It was weird.
Hole
And
therapy.
I put fish. I put fish in holes because I learned that like Native Americans used to do that. I don't know how successful it was at growing my vegetables or not. I think my tomato plant really liked it, but all the other ones did not. But you like put like you put fish and some other scraps and whatever, and like maybe coffee grounds or whatever, and you put it like deep in a hole, and then you're probably supposed to let it decay a little bit more. I don't think you're supposed to plant stuff right on top of it. That might have been the thing that but me being able to dispose of a dead cat for a while made me be like, yeah, I could be a homesteader. I could gut my own chickens, and I could process my own piggies and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm sure there's a difference between it already being dead and me actually being the one to make it dead.
Yeah. But that's a hell of a level up story. You went from dealing with being disgruntled with the non-help you got from the government to wrestling with it in your fucking yard.
That's my libertarian side. I'm telling you, I'm like, fuck the man. I'm paying taxes and y'all didn't do it, so I gotta do it. And like in my head, I'm thinking it's like, Samson or something like that, but in reality, it's like Betty Hill music playing, just
Yo, that would be. I know I've said this like 50 million times this live stream, but that would be so fucking funny. That would be like a slice of life episode that's about nothing, but because your perspective and everything is so amped up, it's like the most epic shit of life.
I thought about doing something like that. I thought about doing like a web series a while back that was just like me and my weird stories, but like kind of like Louis C.K., where like he made a fictional show about his life. I kind of wanted to do that, where it's just like you said, like little slices of life, like, or just about like random thoughts I have or random moments. I had a dream once, although this could be its like own sketch, but I had a dream once when my brother and I were going through our Tupac conspiracy phase, where I dreamt we were at Chipotle. It was me and Tupac and Biggie. And I was sitting there and I was like, yo, guys, like, and this is back when I was more like, I was more feministy, but I was like, guys, why does rap always got to be so like, nasty with women? Like, and why y'all got to call us like hoes and bitches and stuff? Like, don't you have sisters? And they were like, well, it's more just like practicality thing, because a lot of things rhyme with like, with bitch, you got like pitch, sitch, witch, like you got, hoe rhymes with a lot of things, slut, all that stuff. But like not a lot of things rhyme with women. I was like, you know what? That's a good point. And then at one point, I think it was like Biggie got up and was like, I'm gonna get some more of them chips. And then Tupac was like, hey, give me some guac. And then Biggie like turned and gave him this like look. And he was like, this is a dream I had. Like it was a weird sketch dream, but it was Biggie turns and he goes, does your ass got $2? And he goes, no. He's like, then your ass ain't getting no guac. And he like waddles away. Because at the time I think guac was only $2 extra. Maybe it's not anymore. He like waddles away. And I turned to Tupac and I was like, so Tupac, what's it like being dead? And he like drinks his drink and he goes, I wouldn't know. And I was just like, I knew it.
What the fuck?
And that was the dream. And I was like, that could be a funny, like, if I did have like the Amanda show, like the real Amanda show or something like that, it would be literally
Exactly.
just like that would be a
Yo,
standalone episode.
please let that be the first episode. But then please also, do you remember how they had that cartoon, The Real Ghostbusters? Which they
Yeah.
had to title because the pre-existing Ghostbusters franchise that had nothing to do with the film. So they
Yeah.
had to put The Real Ghostbusters. If you do come out with the Amanda Show, I need your title to also say The Real Amanda Show like
The
that.
real Amanda
To
show.
distinct, hey, this ain't that other Amanda Show, okay? This the real one. This the real one here. It's the real Amanda. Don't want to hear nothing about no Amanda Please jokes neither. I'm gonna shoot you if you do that shit.
I don't know if I want Amanda Bynes like mad at me. She's crazy. She sounds like that. If you had told me that Amanda Bynes was the one who told Jesus to open the plane door and go to Ohio, I would have been like, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Didn't she
Florida
like
woman
try
or
to
Amanda Bynes.
There you go. Was she the one who was like doing something with climbing into the animal zoo or something at one point, or was like trying to let him go, or I don't know. Maybe I'm
Maybe.
thinking of another child star, but one of them kids went completely crazy and just went in there with the animals, and I think somehow also went on like a racist tirade at the same time.
Yeah,
Or
she
maybe
kind
I'm
of
crossing
did.
streams.
No, I think
I'm
she
not
kind of
sure.
did for a while. Like she definitely has issues, but then she like also was like obsessed with Drake, I think, for a while. Like I think I don't know what she's doing, but child stardom will mess you up, man. Like I'm so glad I did theater and stuff as a kid, but I don't think I would ever let my kids be child actors, or if I did, I would put them in public school or something like to kind of balance them out. Well, maybe not public
Mhm.
school because they'd get made fun of or whatever. But like, I would not homeschool them. Like, they need to be kids. They need to have like interaction with other children, not just like people on set and then their momagers. Because I have some friends
Mm.
who were child actors and they have like all sorts of like body dysmorphia stuff. Like she's beautiful body, but she thinks she's the fattest person in the world because one time a casting director told her as like a 7-year-old that she needed to lose weight because she was, like or like it's just crazy. Like I don't know. I shouldn't be dunking on acting all the time, but it's not a profession if you're not a mentally stable person, which is ironic that it attracts a lot of the most mentally unstable people, me
Beautiful
included.
irony. But I mean that it makes sense. You're familiar with the industry, so of course you have a lot to say about it that, excuse me, other people may speculate on or maybe not have that much insight on. It's just more of an outsider perspective. But with you being connected with people who are in the industry and having your own experiences in that, it makes sense that you would have more of a this type of opinion of like, oh yeah, it's real fucked up out there.
Yeah, maybe some of the laws have made it a little bit better for like child actors because it used to be that like the parents could pocket all the money, and I think that's what Macaulay Culkin's parents did, and not Gary Oldman, Gary, although he did play a dwarf once too, but Gary Coleman. So like they
Oh,
put
that
stuff in place to
explains a
protect
lot.
what for Gary Coleman, Coleman.
And Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah,
That
like
explains a lot.
the parents used to put them in because it's almost like so there's a disorder called Munchausen by proxy or something like that, and it's basically like when a parent
Mhm.
will pretend that their kid is sick so that they can
Yeah.
vicariously get attention through that kid.
Yes.
So
I know what that is because Eminem. That's
wait, what
where I
happened with
learned.
Eminem?
That's how I learned about that.
What?
That was his life story. I don't know if it was proven clinically or if that was just his idea, but basically that's what his mom, part of how his mom raised him. And it was one of the several ways, several aspects of his fucked up childhood.
Wait, so you mean like was Eminem raised as like a crippled Victorian orphan? But like what do you mean?
I don't want to. I'll say this. I'm gonna encourage you to go out there and look up the details, and maybe we can do a deep dive about it at some point. Because I don't want to misspeak because this is an important topic. But I do recall that being a thing. I just don't want to speak about it too much in detail because I don't want to I don't want to give like false facts. But I do recall that being part of the story.
That's wild. No, like that's
It
what I
is.
think a lot of momagers, like people who are what's what we call moms who put their kids in the film, like who manage their child's career. Some of them
Yeah.
are very normal and the kids just like, hey, I want to do this. So the parents like, okay. But there's definitely a lot of moms and dads out there who will put their kids in the industry because they want to get the attention that they never got. as a kid, or maybe they're a failed actor or whatever, but it's a lot of like, you got to live this vicarious, or even like, football dads or whatever. Like there's some dads who are like, you're going to play college ball because I, broke my leg and I wasn't able to, and you got to fulfill your old man's dreams.
Exactly. You got to get out there, boy. And when you cross that field goal, you let them know how hard I work. I mean, how hard we work. This our victory. Right. When you get out there, that type of mentality.
Just like there are chickens. This is our victory, comrade.
Comrade. Our victory. No. There is no you victory. It's our victory.
Although, do you know? I don't know a ton about China and all that, but I was seeing clips all weekend of how they're having like revolts. Again, they're like down with the CCP, the Communist Party, down with was it Xi Jinping or whatever his name is, the leader. And I'm like, I've never seen something like that from China, so I'm very intrigued to see where this will go. If they'll just end up suddenly suppressing it and they're just do another Tiananmen Square where they like try to kill people and then just be like, we're good, everything's good, or if this will actually bring about a revolution. I'm very excited to see that.
Well, I will be keeping tabs on that. I haven't paid a super big amount of attention to things on the world scale in the past couple of weeks, just because just too much stuff going on just in my own little bubble right now. But that definitely sounds like something I want to keep tabs on. It's definitely something that's long overdue. Definitely.
Yeah. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see some history being made. I mean, as if we haven't already seen a lot of history the last couple of years, but this will hopefully be good history.
They're bringing up toddlers and tiaras in the chat. Oh God, I want to die now.
I never really watched it though. Was that the one where Honey Boo Boo was from?
Don't make me think deeper about that era, please.
I don't, because I know there's like a show called Dance Moms and there's Toddlers and Tiaras.
There was so many of them stupid shows.
What I'm trying to think. Oh, fuck, I forgot. I watched something interesting about pageants recently, but I completely forgot what it was. So
this is why you need to go out and kill the chickens, because that'll help your brain juices flow better. Because when you imbibe the mega chicken juice and the meat, and that gets all in your brain matter, that's gonna help you think better.
It sounds like Joe Rogan pitching something where he's like, "Yeah, man, you just got to eat raw chicken. You just got to drink its blood, and then it actually like powers you up and makes you more like manly."
Why do you think he's such a pinnacle of masculinity?
It's true. He goes out and he just like
chickens, man,
kills them neighbors' chickens.
The mega chickens.
It's specifically got to be the mega chickens, the ones that can hop a 6-foot fence.
Exactly. The regular chickens, they'll like keep you healthy, but if you want to like completely level up your humanity, you got to be out here eating these mega chickens.
You know what? One of my favorite games as a kid was Streets of Rage 2, specifically on the Sega Genesis. And in that game, you would squat down and there'd be a turkey dinner. It wasn't a chicken, but it could have been. Maybe it could have been a mega chicken. I just thought it was a turkey. But you'd squat down and it would go like bloop, and you'd like boop, get up and you would level up. So maybe Streets of Rage this whole time was trying to tell us something, and we just thought, oh, this is a fun game. They're like, no. The mega chickens are a threat, and we need to cull the herd, and also they'll help us become the humans. They'll help humans reach the next stage of evolution that we've always been meant to reach.
Seriously, because you remember the bosses and some of that shit. They had like jetpacks, and there was like alien faces fighting you at one point, and there ain't no way you can fight all that if you a regular human. Even like a peak regular human can't do all that. But when you get that mega chicken in your system, you can beat all the fat umpires that also breathe fire that you want. You can fight them all day long. God, 90s gaming. I miss it.
I think we're on to something. But I'm actually going to let you plug whatever you want to plug, because I got to get some work done today. And I think Mike's in labor or something, because I haven't heard from him. So
oh shit. Yo, Mike, whenever you see this, congratulations. Congrats to you and the wife for bringing in new human life.
Well, technically, I think that's next week. So I think their due date is next Tuesday. So there may or may not be a stream next Tuesday. We will see. But, oh, wait, before you plug stuff, though. Streets of Rage 2 is also the game that says, only trust your fists. The police will never help you.
They knew back in the day. They was just knowing. They was just fucking knowing, man.
Streets of Rage were Streets of based. That doesn't work.
Not Streets of
in my head, I was like, oh, it'll rhyme, but it's just the A and the E.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I appreciate you going out there with it, even though it didn't work out the way you planned.
That's my favorite Alec Baldwin quote. Sorry, no, I know it's Gretzky, but that was a
Oh God. Okay.
yep. Anyway,
It's all good. But yes, thank you for having me on, Daywalker. You are awesome, as is all your audience there. And if you want to follow your boy here, you can find me at Animaine. Basically, if you type this name in here, just as you see it on the screen, that's gonna pull up all my stuff. Anything that's connected to like a black bearded face, that's me.
or
I'm
Ripa.
on.
I'm just saying you're not the only
Stop.
one.
Stop. I said Animaine with the black bearded face.
Okay.
You got to connect the two, connect the dots, Amanda, connect the dots. But you can find me on YouTube where I be talking about all the nerd shit. I just like having a good time, man, having good discussions. So definitely come through there and you can help me make sense of this crazy ass world we're living in. You can follow me on Twitter at Animaine Sparkster. And definitely if you are in the field of looking for like some new stories, some new comic books or whatever, where you want to have a good time, be entertained, you don't have to worry about people telling you you're istophobe or any of that shit, but you also don't have people telling you that, you know, you're basically bringing down the society because you like a show, then my space is definitely for you. Take a look at what I'm making. Like I said, I got Bond of the Blade, which is my shonen style action comic about ninja themed teen heroes who are empowered by a guardian angel to fight demons and crime in their city. That's on Tapas right now. There's also The Spider Circle, starring everyone's favorite pigtailed cutie Catherine Scarlet, which is going to be a fantasy and urban adventure story. Also, we have a prologue up on Tapas for that right now, and you can find all that linked on my my main page on YouTube as well as on Twitter. And yeah, follow me. I talk back. I answer most comments. I try to keep track. Sometimes I lose a little bit of track of them, but if you respond to something I do, I will definitely respond back. I'm all about community and just having a good time, man. Life's too short to be pissed off all the time. Shout out to American History X, one of the best movies ever. Is where I got that from. But yeah, man, just enjoy yourself. If you got a vision you're working on, if you like Amanda here and you're working on your comedy or your comics or whatever, just do it. Do it to 8,000%. Enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. Don't try to get to the finish line too quick. Just enjoy where you are and play the long game, man. It's gonna be all right. We all gonna be all right.
I like that. You're like, we gonna be all right. Although you sounded a little bit like the magical Negro there. You're like, well, little boy, don't worry. It's all gonna be
See,
all right.
I was trying to conjure more Kendrick Lamar and not Bagger Vance, but looks like I need to work on that.
What was I gonna say? That's one of my favorite sketches too. Sorry, I keep like always thinking about things, but yeah, if you guys have never seen, at some point I'll play it on the stream, I guess. But if you've never seen the Key and Peele Magical Negro sketch, it's pretty funny. But it's like get your own depressed white boy, and it's just like two guys and they're like magical forest creatures like attacking each other. Anyway, but I'll also put in the chat. That's the Discord link one more time. I also put Animaine's link. And there you go. And for because some people have said it's been hard to find the Discord link. I think they expire after 5 days or 7 days. So if you're watching an older stream, it won't necessarily work. So I don't know how else to get it to last longer. But anyway, thank you guys so much for showing up today. Thank you, Animaine, for helping me. Because I'm like, I'd love
to come back and whenever you have an opening.
I was about to make a joke, but I'm like, it's not good enough joke about holes. I feel like I missed it. I feel like there was a lot of jokes about holes with the cat earlier, and I just feel like the time
you kind of missed it.
I missed my window.
That's all right. You'll get them next time.
Thank you. I appreciate you believing in me. But yeah, thank you guys for coming today. Wish Mike the best of luck. I mean, today was just a checkup, but I believe in the next week there might be another little epic running around. So be on the lookout for that, I guess. That actually makes it sound like he's like running loose, like be on the loose. There's an APB for a little epic running around.
He'll be wild and untamable, just like Mike's afro, just out here living life.
His babies all come out with a full fro. Girls, boys, doesn't matter. They're just like poof.
That's how you know they is.
Well, I'm excited to meet Oh, her, I guess. I should have probably asked what gender the baby. Oh, the baby's gonna gender itself. Sorry, I'm learning. But yeah. Anyway, I will try to. I know the past 2 weeks I've been kind of out of it, and so I didn't have my Saturday morning cartoons this weekend. Leave a comment if you have anything in particular you want me to react to. You guys seem to really like the Mormon one, so I'm wondering if maybe I should shift from doing like Saturday morning nostalgia to doing more like anything. So if there's anything that you think is funny, let me know and be like, hey, react to this video, react to that one, and I'll do it. Otherwise, I might be doing like Christmas cartoons for the month of December. Who knows? I don't like this song. This is dumb. Anyway. All right. In the meantime, stay cool. Join the Discord. Come hang out with us. We have pretty cool just like hangouts, nuanced conversation. We have like a thread for everything. We got a thread for degeneracy. We got a thread for memes. We got
everything. We got a thread for guns in that bitch. And
yeah,
shout out to John Douglas coming through. Sorry, we winding down now, man. I shared the link like 2 hours ago. Where were you? You were supposed to come through, John. I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, so all that to say, thank you for joining Animaine. It's been real. Your powers of negromancy are always appreciated on the stream. I'm learning from you. I'm your apprentice.
You're welcome. You just make sure you're there to help me when I have to face off against the Grand Dragon.
Grand Dragon
by the Imperial Wizard.
Just what? Pow!
Exactly.
And he's just like a Kamea.
I'm still getting that drawn. I may get that drawn as my if I hit 3K subs, in addition to doing a live cringe comic reads, I'll also commission some art of the Voltron with the juicy dump truck versus the Imperial Wizard who's firing the Grand Dragon attack.
I will believe it when I see it. But anyway, I will see you. Oh, Animaine, I'll talk to you. I talk to you all the time. But so I'll see you whenever. But I'll see you guys next Tuesday and also Saturday for the reaction stream. Not stream. What am I talking about? Reaction videos.
It's gonna be fake live, guys. It's going to premiere, and we got to show up in the chat, and then she'll be in there to laugh with us.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, guys. I've actually forgotten what button I needed to push. So I was like, oh yeah, there you go. That makes sense. I was like, how do I end a stream?
Shit.
I'm so tired. Sorry, guys. Mike usually is my idiot wrangler. Like he helps me because I'm special needs. He's my he's like my handler. So, all right. Thank you guys.
All right. Deuces.
On the flip side.